everyone, and welcome to the opening drive on 101 ESPN in St. Louis, where it's 7 o'clock. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley, Randy Karraker, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Happy Monday, everybody.
Oh, yeah, and here come the Cardinals.
Oh, one game.
Well, we'll take it, right?
It is.
So,
it's better than being swept by the Brewers.
And I was thinking that might be the case. So actually, Matthew and I, on Friday, planned for... But it's not. We thought we were going to be 10 games back. We thought we were going to be 10 games under, but the Cardinals pull out a 4-3 win over the Brewers yesterday in Milwaukee, so the number of the day is only 8.
It's just 8 now. Not as bad.
You know
because it always sounds worse when it's double digits.
That's the second time we've had a pre-planned bit for Monday on Friday if the Cardinals sucked up over the weekend. And I'm kind of glad we didn't have to use it 2 weeks running. We had to eulogize the Cardinals as a serious baseball club last Monday after the White Sox series. Yeah. And I'm glad we didn't have to do 2 bits in a row because that's when things are dark.
So good things yesterday. First of all, former Raider receiver Michael Ciani, he looks great for the Cardinals.
You hope he can high point that ball earlier in the series a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, you got to come down with that ball.
Good point. But Miles Michaelis, 6 innings of 3-run ball and 1 inning of 3-run ball yesterday. But he gave you 5 more scoreless innings, and so the Cardinals... Okay, still last in the Central, but they've got a win under their belt, right? They're 8 games behind Milwaukee, but they've got a win under their belt. Sure, they're 4.5 games out of the final wild card spot, but they've got a win under their belt, and with the third worst record in the National League after 40 games, at the quarter pole of the season. Brooke, third worst record, not the worst record in the National League.
Okay, well, there is some bunnies and roses for you this Monday morning, so you can start your day bright and early.
Rainbow. Together. Don't roses kind of hurt you when you grab the stems?
They do. And that's what the Cardinals are currently right now, Randy. They are the rose that one win is the beautiful rose. The thorns are everything else leading up until that point, like the really long losing streak that they were able to snap, which is the pretty part of the rose. That's a beautiful rosebud. There you go, right there. That one win, but still, other than that, the rest of it's been pretty prickly for the Cardinals leading up to this.
It has. And thank goodness that Paul Goldschmidt finally got a hit in May. And then I think he's 3 for his last 6, has a home run.
The day off work? The couple of days off?
I think that might have had something to do with it. I hope so. Maybe he's just figuring it out. I don't know how good he will be if he figures things out. He is 36 after all. You hope that he'll be good.
That's what they need right now.
Yeah.
They need any point in that. And here's the thing is that I would much rather talk about his resurgence rather than regression, but we keep having to talk about his regression. On Saturday, he did break an 0 for 32 skid when he was able to come up in that loss. But then also yesterday, he had a game-tying RBI. So maybe this is the point we're going to see Goldie turn it around. But you have all the stuff leading up to it. Right now, he's still slightly below the Mendoza line, average-wise. Which is not great, Randy.
No, that's 200. Yeah, so you want to have him be better than that.
197.
Hard to be an impact player when you're batting 197.
No, and Michael Ciani, if you want some bunnies and roses, he has the most hits of any Cardinal so far in May, just as you expected.
Yeah, we had that on our bingo card in spring training.
Everybody did, didn't they? If you would have shown me the lineup, or if you would have shown any Cardinals fan the lineup for yesterday, like maybe to start the season, say, hey, here's a quick little preview of what it will look like in May. What do you think the reaction would have been, Randy?
No, they'll be in last place. Yeah, it was.
And they are. And you had Oli Marmol ejected from the game, so maybe that fired up the guys a little bit.
That's what he wanted to do. It had nothing to do with the umpires or the calls, and everything to do with the fact that Oli just wanted to either A, fire up his guys, or B, not have to watch them anymore.
He didn't want to watch them.
If that was the Cardinals preseason starting roster, your reaction would have been, wow, I didn't know St. Louis people had so many pitchforks and torches.
You'd be like, man, things get really bad.
By the way, Marp was your leadoff hitter yesterday. Newt was hitting second, Goldie was hitting third. Then it was Burleson. Alec Burleson was your number 4 hitter. Gorman 5, Ivan Herrera 6, and then Donovan Brandon Crawford, and Ciani. So if you're given that on the first day of spring training, Brooke, as you mentioned, you're saying, okay, I can see Carpenter being on the team, but not leading off. You don't know who Michael Ciani is. Brandon Crawford is
You
out there.
don't know who Michael Ciani
You
is.
didn't at the beginning of spring training?
Yeah.
Okay, we picked him up on waivers last year. He might have been up at the end. Was he up at the end of last year? I know they picked him up.
No.
So I know they picked him up, but I would have never dreamed that he would have been on the team. Ivan Herrera is your starting catcher. Okay, maybe getaway day, going to California. Maybe you're going to have Contreras catching tomorrow. Alec Burleson hitting fourth. I don't know.
You would have died. You'd also say, oh, man, we are just mailing it in. And who's managing this team currently would be the next following up question.
Who filled out that lineup card?
Who is doing this right now? By the way, Matt Carpenter led off for the first time this season. As we know, at 38, he became the oldest player to lead off for the Cardinals since 40-year-old Willie McGee back in 1991.
Okay.
Or 1999, excuse me.
Okay, great stat.
There you go. Something that you would not have expected to see this season.
No,
so, we talked about Ollie Marmol being ejected. So is Daniel Descalso. What's next for the Cardinals? Because we know that John Mozeliak, he made it clear that he is joining on the second leg of this road trip. But is he just joining because that's something that he does? Or is there something coming here soon?
All right, I think if something is coming, I don't think that Mo is going to initiate it. I don't think that he'd fire Ollie. Ollie is, number one, just signed to an extension, but number two, he appears to be pliable, which is something that the Cardinals like. And so I would be very surprised. Would you, if they would do anything?
They can't like these results, though, is my whole thing. I understand we have that one win, and we're very excited about this. But still, I mean, they had a 7-game losing streak going into yesterday.
Here's the thing, Brooke. If it's me in charge, if I'm Bill, and I've said this since last year, if I'm Bill DeWitt Jr., I had 70-year-old Joe Madden at my house, and I've got everything in play to make the move on Thursday on an off day. You come back from the road trip, you've got a big homestand coming up for your new guy, and you do what you need to do on Thursday. So it doesn't matter what happens in these 3 games. Didn't matter what happened yesterday. If it's me, okay, I've got my plan in place. I've got Madden putting together his coaching staff, and I'm making a change. All right, because I need to. And this is nothing against the people that are in place right now. I need to energize not only my team, but my fan base. My fan base needs to be energized because they're almost 100% against what I've got in place right now. So I would be doing that. I don't think the Cardinals, number one, will, but I also don't think that if they make a move that it will be something where it will be immediate. Like, I don't think they'll decide on Wednesday, oh, we're going to make a change and do it on Thursday. I think that if it's happening, it's probably already happened.
And that's how it should be, though. Yeah. That if you're going to make a decision, it should be based off what you've already seen thus far, which the results are the results at the end of the day. You listed off everything about where they're at currently. We know how bad things are offensively. The scary part is that we've seen some of the starting pitching now catch up. Sonny Gray's not going to be perfect the entire season, of course, but you still have some games, some moments where the starting pitching is not able to do what it needs to do. And the margin of error for this team is so thin that you get really concerned when all the other stuff that has been working out is also catching up with the offense currently.
Right. So you've got all those things that you mentioned going on the field and then off the field. As you peruse social media, as I do, as Matthew does. Have you seen anything aside from an email we got from Mother Hawk? Have you seen any positive response to John Mozeliak in the last 2 weeks?
No.
The Cardinals are reading that stuff.
No.
So, and that's, we both like Mo personally, but the fact of the matter is the fan base, the people that are the customers, and maybe not the people that are ticket buying customers, but the people that are voicing their opinions on social media are pretty much 100% against what they have in place right now.
And rightfully so, because here's the thing is that last year we heard John Mozeliak talk about roster construction. Positionally, this is the same group, essentially, that you have coming into the season. I know that they added Matt Carpenter, they added Brandon Crawford, and there's been some other injuries along the way where you've seen different players come up that you weren't expecting. But at the same time, they added some starting pitching, but this is the same group. And so not many changes. Does it come to roster construction, or is this on the manager? Or is it a combination of all the things? That's the big question here.
It is. It's poor roster construction, and then it's not
Not
maximizing the talent, exactly. Brooke, I went to my first game when I was 9, I think. Scipio Spinks was the Cardinals starting pitcher for the Cardinals against the Cubs. He had a stuffed bear Mighty Joe Young, but that's an aside. But anyway, so I've been, and I'm 61 now, so 61 minus 9 is what, 52? So I've been around, you know. The Cardinals have been, this is a quarter of the season. Yesterday was game number 40. The Cardinals have essentially been in last place for a year and a quarter. That has never happened in my fandom as a Cardinal fan. They've never been in last place like this for more than a year. They've never finished with the worst record in the league. Now they won't this year either, but this is for a stretch of one season bleeding over to another, this is the worst I've ever seen.
It really feels that way. I mean, and you can just feel with this group right now that there's not much fight in there. And so you also made the changes this offseason of adding leadership because you thought that would help. But if anything, it has not helped whatsoever. It just creates more holes with what you have going on with this team right now.
And the reality of the situation is, and you'd like for it to not be the case, but the guy that you're paying $35 million a year to, not you, but he's getting $35 million a year to be your best player and your leader, he's the one that wouldn't ask for leadership. So there's a lot of problems there. NHL playoffs last night. The Panthers rally for a 3-2 win over the Bruins, and the Panthers lead to that series 3-1 over Boston. Go Matthew Tkachuk. Go Panthers. All due respect to Jim Montgomery, I don't want to see Boston win.
I don't either. Well, Maroon's on there as well.
Right.
Does that help a little bit?
He's got his. He's got enough
He's
rings.
plenty of rings.
Yeah. And then the Canucks take a 2-1 series lead over the Oilers with a 4-3 victory last night in Vancouver. NBA playoffs, the Pacers drubbed the Knicks. Isn't that a fun word, drubbed? 121-89 yesterday. 121-89. And then the Nuggets were down, and finished with a 115-107 win over the T-Wolves. And that series has been weird because the road team has won every game. Denver wins it 115-107 in that series, even at 2 games apiece.
There you go. And Jason Tatum with a great game.
Yeah, he was terrific over the weekend. And he is hopefully going to win a championship. Golf, Rory McIlroy with a final round 65. He wins the Wells Fargo Championship by 5 strokes over Xander Schauffele. The PGA Championship is this weekend in Louisville. And in MLS Saturday night, Santa Claus is coming to town. A couple of tallies. St. Louis City SC on the new turf with a 3-1 win over the Chicago Fire.
After he talked about the turf and being worried about it, I don't think he had any issues whatsoever.
I think he was playing possum.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yep, I think he was. And the Birmingham Stallions knock off the St. Louis Battlehawks 30-26 in UFL action on Saturday. AJ McCarron with an ankle injury. We'll learn more about that today at 11:30, but we will rally around Manny Wilkins, and we will play good football.
I hate that for AJ McCarron. It was great to see that it was a homecoming for him in that game. That was a great game.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Back and forth battle. You have the number 1 offense in the league going against the number 1 defense in the league. And, well, you know the saying, defense does win championships, but also if you hurt the starting quarterback's ankle, that will help you win a game.
I have a sad prediction.
Okay.
I don't think the UFL is going to be around next year.
Why?
I just don't draw enough fans.
Oh, you saw the crowd there. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Tough. No, and they aren't getting great TV ratings. Well, the TV ratings here weren't bad.
I think here they're doing well,
Yeah.
but I don't know about everywhere else.
Cardinals actually wound up with higher TV ratings this weekend than the Battlehawks. But it was all right. All right, here's what we got coming up on this show. Chris Kerber is going to join us at 8:15. We've got Chip Caray at 8:45, which is 6:45 on the West Coast where he is.
Bright and early. We have to ask about the boot.
Yeah, we do. We will.
The pickleball accident.
Oh, love it. The incident. It's an incident.
It's an incident. It's a scandal,
it's
if you will.
Kerfuffle. And then Pro Football Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce is going to join us at 9:15, and he has an announcement for us that'll be fun. And we always like to talk to Isaac about what's going on in the NFL. And the announcement this morning that the opener to the NFL season, Ravens at Kansas City on the first Thursday in September at Arrowhead. So it's Lamar Jackson against Patrick Mahomes. Be fun. But coming up next, 3 things we love from the weekend with Brooke, Randy, and Matthew on 101 ESPN. Hey, folks, if you're trying to connect on a higher level with your clients, you should get in touch with Hubbard's 2060 Digital. You can go to 101ESPN.com/2060 Digital. And 2060 Digital is a sister company here of 101 ESPN, and they're in the digital and social media business, and they're the best at it. If you utilize the services of 2060 Digital, they are going to find the best way to connect with your potential clients. They are going to provide you with the best digital platform, and they are going to make sure that your business is getting out of social media and digital what it needs to get. And they've got quantifiable numbers. They've got a fantastic analytics department back there. Talk to my friends at 2060 Digital. You can learn more by going to 101ESPN.com/2060 Digital. If you're a business owner or marketer seeking a more strategic way to reach and engage customers, look no further than the great services provided by 2060 Digital right here at Hubbard Radio, 101ESPN.com/2060 Digital. All right, time for three things we loved about the weekend here on 101 ESPN. Brooke, what do you got?
Number 3.
For me, and I talked about it earlier, there's been a lot of recent criticism of the potential MVP candidate in Jason Tatum not playing his usual standard offensively this postseason. But if you saw what happened this past weekend, Jason Tatum put on a show. He had 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. So it was just great to see him be able to have a great game and get back on track there, because there was a lot of criticism. I don't know if you saw, but Stephen A. Smith called out Jason Tatum basically. And you should go watch the post-game presser from Tatum as well, because he was asked specifically not about Stephen A. Smith, but all the media scrutiny of him lately. And he talked about how, you know, this is just something that comes with it. He doesn't blame them whatsoever. He just continues to handle himself on and off the court so well. And I know he's not like the flashy. I think that sometimes some of the criticism is he's not the flashy kind of big name that a lot of people want their basketball players to be like. But I think that he is a great guy to look up to. And maybe he isn't the loudest, you know, maybe he isn't the one who's saying the craziest things in his conferences, but I think he deserves a lot more attention for what he's able to do.
I think the basketball media is interesting. And Michael, it was never his fault when the Bulls would lose a game. It was always somebody else's fault. But for the most part, with most players, the basketball media will put everything and every loss on one player.
Yeah.
So it's whether it's LeBron or whether it's Jokic or whether it's now you've got Edwards, you've got all of these guys that are the guy, but it's always a catastrophe when the team loses. And I thought it was great that Michael Malone kind of called them out the other day. The people that said, "Oh, the Nuggets will never win again," and you know, the series is over. I was glad that he basically said, "You know what? Start paying attention."
Exactly. And that's the thing with Jason Tatum. What a great game it was for him. So it was great to see that he was able to do that.
Fantastic. Brooke, I thoroughly enjoyed being productive on Saturday. As you know, I'm not the most productive person in the world.
Yes, you are.
Well, I don't know. But I got out. I bought a new faucet. I got a bike ride in. I was able to do some cleaning around the house. And I was able to enjoy the great outdoor weather in St. Louis, Missouri. So I was thrilled that I started a day being productive and then ended the day. And by the way, taking all care of all of the Mother's Day stuff too. I was a productive person on Saturday.
When you have those days, aren't you kind of like, okay, I should do this every single day?
Yes.
And then the next day you're like, oh, that was a lot of work yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't do that again.
I think the best way for me to set it up, and you're 100% right, is to just do one of those a week.
Just one.
Yeah.
One extremely. You could also just be pushing everything off until that really one extremely productive
That's another
day.
good idea. Yeah.
It might be a little stressful.
Yeah. But why accomplish today what can wait for tomorrow.
No. Is that the Cardinals motto that you're saying, basically? That's what happened there.
Number 2.
Number 2 for me is that I don't think it's a coincidence that Chaser was in the building for the City SC game against the Chicago Fire this weekend, and they absolutely dominated. So that's my number 2 thing, is to see him come out. The fans absolutely went nuts seeing Chaser, and it was just great to see Chase Kelly be out there for that game and be a part of the environment.
Yeah, he is St. Louis. He is such a cheerleader for our town, and such just a great standard bearer for what everybody should want to be, and as tough a guy as you'll ever meet. And we're glad that he's successfully battling through the leukemia, and he's going to be fine. But yeah, great to have him out there, and great move on the part of City too.
Oh, it was a great job by them doing that.
Brooke, what an amazing time of year with basketball and hockey playoffs going on. You know, we can even get away from baseball if we want, right? Because you've got the Battlehawks playing on the weekend. You had all the great hockey and basketball, NBA playoff basketball action going on. You had UFL, and the Battlehawks game was great against Birmingham. You've got MLS. You've got golf. It was a truly amazing weekend. It kind of sucked that the weather was so good, because there was, if ever there was a weekend for it to be raining in St. Louis, it was this one, right? Because you want to be inside watching all the stuff on TV.
You still can. If you have Fubo, you can take it with you.
And go wherever you want.
Wherever you want, unless there's bad cell phone service, and then you're screwed. So maybe not a biking trail.
Number 1.
So number 1 for me, I'm going to keep it with St. Louis City SC, because you have João Klaus. What a game that was for him in the 3-1 victory. 2 goals, a brace, his first of the season, a header goal and a volley goal. I know that we talked a lot about the turf, but it really didn't seem to bother him whatsoever. So it was just great to see João Klaus be able to pull that off. He's also on fire right now. He has 4 goals in 4 matches currently.
So here comes City SC, right? Winning games and scoring goals, everything that they weren't doing in the early part of the season. Maybe Bradley Carnell knew what he was doing. Maybe they just needed to get the big boy going, and that is what City SC is. You got to have the big boy going, and it'll help to have Leuven back for a 90-minute game, right? It'll make a difference. But having the big boy is pretty good.
And Leuven should be speaking today. I believe, Rock, isn't that correct? That Leuven will be speaking today to talk about things moving forward.
Yeah, just so Carnell in the post game. Edu will probably make a statement next week. He wants to publicly come and address everyone, and he says that'll be a time when he is available. So the big thing there being Edu will probably make a statement next week, and that was Carnell in the post game.
Okay. And Brooke, my number 1, I always love seeing St. Louisans succeed, and we saw it again last night. Matthew Tkachuk is just a stud, right? He does everything he can to help his team win. He's we're so excited when Braden Shen will drop the gloves off a face-off. Matthew Tkachuk is a player in his prime that does everything he can to get his team a victory. And I said it last week, and I'll say it again. And by the way, they're up in their series against Boston 3-1. And even if he doesn't dent the scoreboard, Matthew Tkachuk is such an impactful player. But as it turns out, 2020 hindsight for Army, there was no price too high to pay for Matthew Tkachuk, right? You and I both agree on that.
Oh, 100%. Anything.
Yeah.
Literally anything. Just because you see how big of a difference maker he is. He's an impact player, as you mentioned, and that's something that any team wants, but it's something that you feel like the Blues are missing currently. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I think you could argue that Jordan Binnington, of course, did a lot for the Blues this season, but I'm talking about a guy who has that same tenacity, that fight, that passion. I want to see that as a part of this Blues team.
And then he'll do something to the opposition and then skate away with that smirk.
He drives people absolutely nuts with that.
Yeah,
and he's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch play. We had I think it was a texter last week, maybe somebody on the YouTube chat. And by the way, you can join us on our YouTube studio cam, the Air Alliance team studio cam. Just go to youtube.com/101ESPN. But somebody got in touch with us last week and intimated that Matthew Tkachuk is not a great player. Apparently that player is either that person was either Drew Doughty that was texting in, or just doesn't watch enough hockey.
Are you talking about the one where I got sent that message?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want me to read it to you just so that fans can enjoy this? And I know that sometimes Big Walt listens, but of course he's busy right now, so maybe he's not. But either way, I had retweeted on social media the video of Pasta and Tkachuk fighting, And I said, man, he's an animal. I would love to watch him with the Blues. And somebody replied to me and said, it was an orchestrated fight, and he fought Pasta because all the big boys had already gotten kicked out. He's I can't say this word, like his old man was, and that's coming from a diehard Blues fan.
Yeah,
Randy, do you know any diehard Blues fan that would truly, truly say that?
No, I don't. That's why I think it might have been Drew Doughty.
That makes a lot of sense.
And you know what? Maybe it's somebody who has been gotten under the skin of by Matthew Tkachuk, because he has the ability to do that.
But that's the player you want on your team, right? That's why we like
Exactly.
Jordan Binnington, because we know that there's a lot of people who love to hate him, but you love him when he's on your team.
Totally. And that's what I love, is that I love Matthew Tkachuk because he's a St. Louis kid doing what he's doing, even if it's for the Panthers.
Exactly. Can I give you a fourth one?
Sure.
Just because it didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
but I
four
did.
things Brooke loved about the weekend.
Sorry about that. If you want to add a fourth, you can as well. But I just found this really entertaining, because I think Wilson Contreras, I love everything that he does on and off the field, and he is a true teammate. I have this on my social media right now, but yesterday the Cardinals put out a highlight of it was Goldschmidt hitting a solo home run, or was this on Saturday, I believe? I can't remember which day this was.
Goldie? Yesterday.
Yeah, and then Wilson Contreras replied to somebody because they said, on the video it says, yay, more useless solo shots. And Wilson Contreras took the time to reply and said, you can do it better. That is one of my favorite moments.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what he's doing right now. So he's
pay
a true
attention.
teammate on and off
Little
the field.
troll. Yeah, I like that.
Can you imagine that you just think you're going about your weekend and you're like, I'm going to be mean to this team, and then Wilson Contreras replies to you?
It's got to be pretty cool. I don't take it upon myself to try to be mean.
Oh, it's his birthday today, is what
Willie's?
somebody said.
Oh, okay, happy birthday, Willie.
Happy birthday.
Is he, what, 33?
Continue to troll the trolls.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. Looking.
He is 32.
32. Good for him.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Willie. That's Brooke. I'm Randy, and that's three things we loved about the weekend. Four for one of us. Coming up, the Cardinals lose 3 of 4 in Milwaukee. Are their playoff chances dead? I mean, dead? That's next on 101 ESPN. I attended Lindenwood University. I'm a grad of LU, and when I went on campus. But did you know you can advance your career with Lindenwood University online? Flexible, accessible online learning, and you can choose from over 35 industry-relevant degree programs, including options for military students. Learn more at online.lindenwood.edu. And while their on-campus program is spectacular, and I can tell you that firsthand, Lindenwood has an incredible setup for online students. They'll work with you to apply credit for prior learning and experience. They're a top-ranked online MBA in Missouri from Fortune Education in 23-24. And, as we mentioned, affordable, industry-relevant online programs perfect for working adults like you. If you just don't have the time to be on campus, but you want to get that advanced degree, it's at Lindenwood. You can go online at online.lindenwood.edu. And if you want the best online experience that you can have, it's at Lindenwood. Again, online.lindenwood.edu.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lose 3 out of 4 in Milwaukee. They are 16-24 through their first 40 games. They'll try to get back in the win column. 8:38 p.m. first pitch tonight in Los Angeles, facing off against the Angels. It'll be Matthew Liberatore, the lefty, for the Cardinals. 1-1 on the season with a 3.54 ERA, facing off against Jose Serrano for the Angels. Serrano, a righty, is 1-4 on the season with a 4.32 ERA. Also over the weekend, St. Louis City SC gets a big 3-1 win over the Chicago Fire, and the big rivalry battle in the UFL is the Stallions from the big UFL division and the Battlehawks from the XFL division clashed. 30-26 was a Stallions victory. AJ McCarron did suffer an ankle injury, and his status will be revealed later today. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Last year, the Arizona Diamondbacks were the final National League team to make the playoffs. They finished with a record of 84-78. As Matthew told you, the Cardinals are now 16-24 at the quarter pole of the season. So they are 8 games under 500, which means to get to 84 this year, they would have to go 16 over the rest of the way. Brooke, when you look at where this team is, and I'll tell you what I think first, I don't see a scenario, unfortunately, in which I see the Cardinals going on a run to allow them to get 16 games over 500. Could I see them maybe getting back to the 500 mark, which is what I thought they would be before the season? Yes, I could see that if everything comes together offensively and the starting pitching stays healthy and the bullpen gets people like Middleton back and winds up with Riley and O'Brien, by the way, if you didn't see, was placed on the 60-day IL. If the Cardinals get everybody back and get healthy, I could envision them getting back to 81 and 81, but I don't see them winning 16 over 500 or 18 over 500 to get to a potential playoff spot. Do you think that they have it in them to do that?
No, I can't imagine. And here's the thing, is that even if there is any sort of firing, do you believe that that would be enough to change this? Because they've dug themselves into a pretty deep hole, and offensively, where do you turn things around here?
Well, there's a lot to turn around, right? If you look at Philadelphia a couple of years ago, when they fired their manager, they weren't even close to being 8 games under 500.
That's true.
So it's are they capable of being better than they have been? Yes. Philly was 18-22 after 40 games a couple of years ago when they rallied and made the playoffs. The Cardinals are 16 and 24. So from the perspective of the playoffs, I think the playoff chances are dead right now.
I believe so as well. And also, look at that Phillies team at that time. Do you have some of the names of who was a part of that group?
Well, you start with Wheeler and Nola, right?
Exactly. The talent was fully still there, which is crazy to say because there are some guys who are very, very talented, but we're just not seeing it currently at this moment. Like Nolan Arenado is Nolan Arenado. Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, he is super talented, but he just finally broke an 0-for-32 skid this past Saturday. So where does this team go? And what pieces do you have that you would say, okay, this is enough for a playoff push? Because I think that's the key part is maybe they can be a little bit better, but this is a 500 team at best. Who are the pieces that could really take you over the top?
And one of the pieces that could help you, if you were going to say, okay, who is our version of Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber? Well, one of those three would have to be Wilson Contreras, wouldn't it? And he's not going to be there for the next couple of months. So you're missing out on him. We certainly... Let's just put Sonny Gray and Zach Wheeler's class for a moment, okay? So let's just consider them even. I think that's a stretch, but let's do it. Who is our version of Aaron Nola? I don't see. And the other part of that Philly team, normally when a team is struggling, like Philadelphia was, or the 2003 Marlins who changed managers and rallied, there's something wrong that is fixable during the season, like defense. Mike Schilt did that with the Cardinals in 2018. You can fix things during the season. I don't know how you make these guys better hitters during the season.
No, especially when it's veterans and it's younger players. And so you have to wonder about what direction are they going to go now. So you're expecting if they are going to do anything, it would be this week. Who would be stepping into that position, just theoretically? If Ollie Marmol was rehomed, who is stepping into that position of taking over as the interim manager?
Well, Brooke, this is my opinion. It does no good to replace Ollie Marmol with anybody internally. And I really like Stubby Clapp. He's a great guy. Pop Warner is a guy who's had a good history as a minor league manager. Those are people that are authentic baseball people. But at this point, there are a couple of things that go into play. And despite what John Mozeliak and Ollie Marmol say, there's too much, in my view, in talking to people, too much smoke to that fire of the front office and the analytics people making too many decisions. So you have to have somebody, A, that is willing to take a stand and say, no, I'm not going to manage that way, with the specter of analytics hanging over this, and somebody who's creative, who has a history that you go to Arenado, you go to Goldschmidt, you go to Contreras, you go to all the veteran players and say, look, I need you to lead. I know that we may have Matt Carpenter here. All due respect, Matt Carpenter was his best 11 years ago. So there's only one guy that's available that you could do that with, and that's Madden. And Joe Madden is 70 years old. I get it. But he's still got energy. And don't forget, last year's guy that won the World Series was 68. The year that won before that, the guy that won the year before that was 74. So older gentlemen can do it. And the only thing that they can do, and I don't think this will happen, would be to bring in a guy like Madden. You'd have to defang Mo, right? And he'd have to have another job in the organization. And then whether it's Randy Flores or whether it's Chaim Bloom, who did work with Madden for 10 years in Tampa, it would have to be a complete overhaul, like it was when the Cardinals overhauled in 1980, when they got rid of Ken Boyer and John Claiborne and brought in Whitey Herzog.
That's the thing, is that it would have to still be involved with the front office, because at the end of the day, this whole approach that you've seen that has led up to last season and this season, with the results that we're seeing right now, where this is just such a bad team. You mentioned earlier how long you have been a fan of watching the Cardinals. You've seen a lot of bad baseball, but this is some of the worst that you've seen during this stretch. And you have to look at the whole organizational approach, and it's not working. Because you gave Ollie Marmol an extension to go in the season. It wasn't necessary. You basically let him go the entire offseason being a lame duck manager, and then all of a sudden randomly decide during spring training, oh, wait a minute, yeah, we want to give him a 2-year extension because we don't want him to worry about. What was the exact quote? I'm trying to remember specifically, but it was about because of the injuries, the pressure of winning.
Right, the pressure of winning.
Winning should always be on the top of mind, and there should be pressure surrounding that. Lots of teams have experienced injuries to start the season, and that's nothing new. You still have to be able to maximize the talent that you have. But in saying that, I'm with you because it's not all on Ollie Marmol. These are some of the guys that he's given. Now, should he maximize them? Yes. And you can't just give up on all the players. You can't just fire all the players and get new ones in. So, of course, you have to work with the ones you have. But at the same time, there's an organizational approach that would have to change here as well. And
that would have to start at the top. And I gave you my opinion of what I do. What do I think the chances are of Cardinal ownership doing what I suggest? 1%. Less than 1%, half of 1%. I don't see it happening. As a matter of fact, I would be really surprised if the Cardinals would make moves. I don't think they'll fire the manager. I don't think they'll get rid of the Pobo. I don't think they'll get rid of the general manager during the season. I think these guys will play it out for the whole season, and we're going to be told to be patient, and we think that we'll turn things around, and we like our guys, and the players are going to be in the clubhouse saying we're positive about this. I think we're going to hear that all season long.
And that's not good enough is the whole purpose of this. Because to go back to your question, is this team going to make the playoffs? We know now in May that they are not going to make the playoffs because the chances are really slim and they don't have the talent to be able to push them over the edge where they could make the playoffs or even just sneak in. So knowing that, you miss the playoffs again, the fans, how are they supposed to feel about this situation?
Well, here's the thing, Brooke, and I know that this is a great fan base of winning, right? Colorado once had a great fan base when they were winning, and things got away from them. And even when they were decent a few years ago, they never recovered their fan base. The Cleveland Indians set a record for consecutive sellouts, but then went downhill. They've been a pretty good franchise for a while now. They don't draw. It's very easy to lose fans forever in today's environment. And I hope the Cardinals recognize that. They've already got the soccer specter over them, that shadow, because 22.5 are at that park every single game, and people that had Cardinal tickets now have soccer tickets. So there's that part of it. There is a finite number of dollars to be spent on entertainment. People like their Blues. People like their Battlehawks. And people like doing non-sports things. So my concern would be the Cardinals not too long ago were the place to be seen. It was a great social event in addition to a competition. Now, people don't want to be seen there. I know so many, and I'm sure you do too. And Matthew, I know you've run into it. People that have tickets that can't get rid of them.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
No, it really is happening right now. Because if you have a choice, if you have all those games going on in one weekend, which we've had several cases of that, if you have a choice currently, somebody says, okay, I have City SC, Cardinals, Battlehawks tickets. Mm-hmm. Which one do you want?
Yeah, Cardinals are going to be last. Right?
At this
Most
point,
times.
yes.
Yeah.
Because either way, even if you can get those tickets for cheap or even for free, you're still going to end up spending money, right? It just happens. When you're going to any sporting event, when you're going to any event, you're going to end up spending money. And so would you want to spend your money on a product that you're going to be fully entertained? Of course, because then it feels a little bit more justified.
What the Cardinals have become is the guy that asks the hot girl out for a date, and she says, oh, I have to wash my hair. When people are offering free Cardinal tickets now, they say, no, I have to wash my hair.
I'm busy. I have to wash my hair. Now, I will say it does take a while to wash hair if you have long hair.
There you go.
So, you know, it could take 2-3 hours during the span of a Cardinals game.
So you're turning down the Cardinal tickets.
No, maybe.
Which is a shame. And it's because I'll be there. I love going to the games. I love baseball. I love the competition. But at the same time, there are people who are in it, and it's the entertainment business. People are in it because they want to be entertained, and it's just not happening now.
Another observation that I think, too, with the Blues, that even though they haven't made the playoffs for 2 straight seasons, which that sucks, of course, I think that one thing that helps season ticket holders is that you have a very honest Doug Armstrong who's willing to take many media sessions and speak to fans directly and not try to talk over their heads, in a sense. It seems like he's talking directly to them and being very honest about his approach, his thought process, everything like that.
And 4.5 years after winning a championship and 2.5 years after having a really good team, they recognize that, hey, this ain't happening, and they got rid of the coach. So there are differences organizationally, no doubt about it. One isn't nearly as patient as the other. That's Brooke. I'm Randy. Coming up next, we've got Take It or Leave It. Get your text in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho! We've got Tioli coming your way on 101 ESPN. Hey, St. Louis, get your exclusive City SC debit card from Together Credit Union. Together Credit Union is the only place to find this official fan debit card, and it comes with special perks like a free lifetime My City Plus membership, in-stadium discounts on food and beverages and merchandise, and most exciting, express entry into City SC matches. That debit card makes it so easy for you to get through the gates quickly. It's amazing, and you can get it from Together Credit Union. It is a special bonus. Together Credit Union will also send you a commemorative print of City Park Stadium, the home of St. Louis City SC, while supplies last. How do you get the card? It's easy. Open any personal checking account online at togethercu.org or stop by any of the Together Credit Union's 14 local branches and choose the City SC debit card at account opening. There's no cost for the City SC debit card, so don't wait. Sign up today and show your pride for St. Louis City SC. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by the NCUA.
Take it or leave it.
Want to say something? Want to put it out there? If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right back.
Get your text into 314-399-9646 and give us your take it or leave it.
Brought to you by Gloria Lou Realty. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
That's my final offer. Take it or leave it.
Brooke, Matthew, and Randy, and the text line is open. 314-399-9646. 314-399-YO-HO!
Yo-ho. Whoa, that was quicker
Good
than
job,
usual.
Kids. Good job.
I
Wanna try this
failed
again?
you, Randy.
314-399-9646. 314-399-YO-HO! There we go, Matthew.
And
next
now
one.
sorry, it's Monday, Randy.
Yeah, it is. Monday, but after a win.
No, I did it. I was just off mic.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see your mouth move.
Somehow.
I'm talented.
Oh, you are.
I'm a ventriloquist.
All right. So, Brooke, the Los Angeles Dodgers are great. They are kind of beat up right now. Jason Hayward is on the IL, as we noted earlier. Shohei Ohtani dealing with some issues of tightness in his back. How long do you think he's had those, Matthew?
About a week back.
There you go. So the lineup that the Dodgers have used, the Doyers have used the most, is Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, Kike Hernandez, and then Josh Outman, Jason Hayward, and Gavin Lux. Okay, and Gavin Lux is in the parlance. He's kind of scuffling. He's hitting 188 with a 497 OPS. Take it or leave it. If you were the Cardinals, and we just established during the last segment that they aren't going to the playoffs, if you were the Cardinals, you would call the Dodgers and offer them Nolan Arenado in a deal.
I will take it, and we might be getting to that point. I think that you might be getting to the point here soon where it makes a lot more sense that you have these one-year deals, so they could really pivot away from these contracts and move some guys at the trade deadline. And maybe a guy like Nolan Arenado, even though it's not a one-year contract, still you try to move him to get some pieces back.
And maybe he would be energized at a place where he doesn't have to be the star. They could move Muncy to second and play Arenado
Still, you're
at third.
with the Dodgers where there's a lot of pressure, but you're right, there's a lot more star power, so it's not like the spotlight's completely on you.
He's just a guy. If he's playing with Shohei and Betts and Freeman, he's just a guy. And that's perfect. I think right now, from what we've observed, that's probably the way that Nolan Arenado is best served.
That just sucks, though, that it has to pan out that way.
Yeah. But
if it's not working, it's not working.
I would take it too, by the way. I would, if I'm the Cardinals at the age of 33, and he can still help the Dodgers. He's still a really good player. This isn't about Arenado as much as it is the Cardinals and the Dodgers. If I were the Cardinals, I would make the phone call.
Take it or leave it. And there's some possible theories out there about this. Of course, a lot of people are spitballing what the trade deadline will look like for the Cardinals because of where they're at right now. Take it or leave it, they will move Ryan Helsley at the trade deadline to get some pieces back. I know that you would hate to part with Ryan Helsley, but if you're trying to look with somebody with some value, he might be the guy.
I'm going to take it, but here's the thing. I'll take it in that I think they would do it, even though he has a year left of control. But In the Cardinals trades last year of Montgomery and Hicks and Stratton and Flaherty, did they win any of them? Who
Not
among,
theoretically. Yeah, of course, you would have to see
Yeah.
who fully pans out.
right?
But,
But
yeah.
we also know they can't develop players.
But if you're looking at a right now impact, 100% they didn't.
Yeah,
so
and
far.
it's just, even if you're looking at the performance of the guys in the system, it's just pretty ugly. It's a shame. And I think that's the biggest issue with the Cardinals is development of young players. So you go out, you sell, get young players. Are they going to get better? I want to see, now Nolan Gorman had a last good couple of days. I want to see people like Jordan Walker get better. I want to see people like Victor Scott get better. I want to see people like Lars Nootbaar get better. But in the big picture, we aren't seeing it. And Gorman, by the way, fits that group too. They've regressed, to me, more than they've improved.
And that's the thing is that you have to get the most out of these young players.
Yep. That's why Atlanta is good right now, because they've got a million good young players that have been maximized. All right, Matthew, what do you got for us?
It's a weird day. YouTube chat's a lot angrier than the text line today, which is unexpected and odd considering how bad the Cardinals are right now. I definitely thought the text line was going to be absolutely just torching everything. Take it or leave it. Matt Carpenter hits leadoff more than anyone else for the rest of the season.
Oh, no.
Let it be awful.
I'm going to take it.
No, you
Take
don't
it.
have to leave that. Why?
Let it be awful.
No. Come
Ethan
on.
Holiday, let's go, baby. Make it happen. Come on.
Yeah, there you
Come
go.
on. Take it or leave it. It's still possible the Cardinals could get hot and be in it at the All-Star break. Yeah. Technically.
I mean, anything.
They're 4.5 out of the wild card right now.
Yeah, they could win.
Technically, yeah, I
they
think
could
it's
win
possible.
22 in a row. Technically, I guess
What a run that would be.
Yeah.
it's not going to happen, but
No. Unless some other things happen. But no, I'm going to take that. That's not going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah.
take it or leave it. City finishes with less points than last year, but makes it further in the playoffs.
Ooh, I like this one.
like that.
I might take that. Just
take that
because,
too.
Yeah, I feel like they could. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like that one. I mean, everything the players have been saying it, and Carnell's been saying it for literally like the last 3 weeks, despite them not getting wins, which is they feel like they're better than they were last year. And that feels like a weird thing to say when you're only getting draws and you're not, and you open up last year with a crazy run. But everyone around the team is saying we're better than we were last year. I think that's indicative of something.
Yeah, it's good.
Take it or leave it. We're getting Kroenke again.
I'm going to leave that.
We're getting Kroenke again.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an overreaction.
I'm going to leave it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to try to move this team to
Hashtag cards to
California.
Nashville.
No, they're not doing that. Maybe the Brewers, though.
I would burn down this. I would.
You would burn down what, Rock?
I would commit some kind of arson. I would. Oh my
would
God.
commit some type of arson.
I'd be so mad if the Cardinals moved into Nashville. Oh, I'd be
Or
furious.
if the Cardinals moved in general. Yes, that would be
Other ones would
absolutely
make
awful.
me less furious. But like, I mean, the Cardinals are going to move to like Chesterfield, but that's about it. Don't worry, guys. Take it or leave it. Conor McGregor is the most polarizing athlete of all time. Ladies and
Of
gentlemen,
all time?
Muhammad Ali.
Polar. Yeah, I would say Conor McGregor's. If I was going to go with my top 10, I don't know that Conor McGregor would be there.
He's not even number one fighter of all time.
Yeah.
Ali is.
I think he's maybe up there for being so controversial, but I think there's way more.
Ali's the most controversial fighter of all time, right?
Well, controversial, but in terms of polarizing, I mean, what
Very
do you have?
polarizing.
If you have,
Not controversial,
if you have the, even now, you have the Michael versus LeBron. I mean, what could be more polarizing than that?
And if you're talking about specific athletes, and I hate to bring up just kind of the history of how it all played out, and I'm setting myself up for this, but O.J. Simpson might also be one of the most polarizing athletes of all time.
Yeah, that.
Because if you went back, if you looked during that time, there were so many people who were split on their thoughts and feelings about O.J. Simpson and if he was guilty or innocent.
That was really polarizing.
Do you remember
it
that?
changed
Yeah.
the country.
It did.
It really did. Yeah, that's a sharp recall there.
Oh, I knew, and that's why I hated that it was the first thing that came to my mind.
You aren't sticking your neck out there.
Oh, Randy, no.
make-
What else do we have on the text line? What else do we have on the text line?
Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. City finishes with more points than the Cardinals have wins. For example,
I'm gonna
last
leave
year.
that.
What the heck? City had 56 points last year, and the Cardinals had
Yeah.
71 wins.
Yeah, the Cardinals will wind up with 65, at least 65 wins.
At least 65 wins? Oh, Randy, that would be absolutely brutal.
Ooh, this is interesting. Take it or leave it. If Ollie survives this week, he's here for the rest of the year.
I'll take it.
I'll take that. I think that is a very good point.
That's a really good read. I like that. That's the best take it or leave it of the day easily.
I could see that actually really happening. If they're
Me
not
too.
gonna, if they don't do something this week, then it's just not gonna happen unless something just really implodes where you have to.
Yeah. And I don't think it can't implode much more than it did over the last week. Really.
But they won a game, Randy, and Ollie Marmol fired up his group. That doesn't win you back over?
Did. Yeah, well, kind of. No, let's get 3 wins in Anaheim and then see what happens. By the way, who's Albert rooting for this week?
The Cardinals.
Okay, good.
Take it or leave it. Paul Goldschmidt is not tradable right now because of how bad he is.
I'll leave that.
I think he still has value.
Yep. I think I know there are teams that say, okay, this guy is 200 games removed from winning a Most Valuable Player award, and his contract is up after this year. Yeah, we'll roll the dice on spending, what would 3/4 of 26 be? Whatever it would be. Let's see, 13, 7. So $17 million. Yeah, you roll the dice on that. Absolutely.
Don't you think a lot of teams, too, when they're looking at trade line guys, that they take into consideration maybe the environment and saying, well, change of environment will help them as well?
Yeah, teams would look at that. Now, here's the thing. If you're the Cardinals and you know that Paul Goldschmidt is financing the new Paul Goldschmidt Field out at the South County Y, and you know that he wants to be here, and look at the way they've treated Brandon Crawford. If you want, do you want to send that message to your clubhouse? Okay, guy that's just putting a field into St. Louis, do you want to send that message to all your young players? Yes, to hell with you. Do you want to send that message?
No.
I think they're in a tough spot.
They are, but at the same time, you have to do something at this point.
Yeah, I wonder if Goldie would even take, with his no trade, I wonder if he would take the trade right now or just wait until after the season and become a free agent.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense. Take it or leave it. Getting tossed to fire up the team isn't as cool when you then announce that you only got tossed to fire up the team.
I'll take that. Yes, I will.
That's a really good read.
That's 100%.
Also, when you then apologize. Also, when you apologize to the umpires.
And those guys do a
Those
great
guys do a
job.
great job.
They did a great
Yes, I'm literally lighting them up.
I'm sorry. That was
really good.
I'm glad that other people found that a little
funny.
tad bit
Good
funny.
job on the late coming Teolies today. Like, as they were coming in, they just got better today, everybody. Good job. Great job, St. Louis.
Pretty funny. Okay. Thank you, Matthew. And thank you very much for your texts. We do appreciate them. Coming up, some comments that have inflamed the Cardinal fan base from the Cardinal president. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey everyone, it's Brooke for Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here and it's only going to get hotter from here. Do not cool off the outside this year. Call my guys over at Universal Windows Direct. While we're all excited for it to get warmer outside, it was pretty warm outside this weekend. I know you're probably not excited to see that upcoming energy bill that comes with keeping the warm air outside. That's the thing that I hate the most. I know everybody feels that way. And that's why you should call my guys over at Universal Windows Direct. Their windows feature super spacer technology, which helps keep the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window sill longer, and makes your windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal perform better and they last longer. Go and schedule your free in-home estimate today, and for every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 for free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Universal Windows Direct backs it all up with a true 20-year warranty. Mention my name and you get an additional $250 off your next project. Go to UWD.com. That's UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
To the Fast Lane and more. If you missed anything on 101 ESPN today, get caught up with all the shows and 101 podcasts at 101. A fresh perspective on today's top stories. This is Fresh Take.
Presented by Lindenwood University. Real experience, real success.
The thing I chuckle about is when I see sometimes comments, we gotta, not show up to send a message that this isn't acceptable to the owners. I find that one somewhat illogical reasoning.
That is the Cardinal president, Bill DeWitt III, on the Scoops Network podcast with Martin Kilcoyne last week, and you can find that. Just go to Martin Kilcoyne's Twitter page, and there's a link to it. And I was on Channel 2 with Martin last night talking about this. And let's start with this. I think when you just look at the content, that what Bill said makes sense. If we don't have as much money to spend, if you decide that the message that you want to send is to not give us as much money, we won't have as much money to spend. And I can see why he would get a chuckle out of that. Is that the best way to send a message for the ball club? And from the way that they look at it, okay, it is unacceptable the way the club has been performing, but to think that they're going to increase payroll when they're getting less revenue, I think is kind of disingenuous.
But here's the thing is that I think chuckling at any point when you're talking about fans, especially when you're the owner of the team, is just never the right thing to do in that situation. Because here's the thing, I get what the premise of this interview is actually about, because Bill DeWitt III, he's more on the business side of things. Ballpark Village is his baby, so he's more focused on that side. They leave President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak, to handle the more baseball operations side, obviously. So I think that Bill DeWitt III is just more focused, laser focused on a business sense of things. And so his comments, though, come across tone deaf because he's talking from a business standpoint when he should be talking also to the emotional standpoint that fans are coming from. Because when you have the results that are currently going on right now and you had what happened last year, I think it always will not go over well if that's the approach you take when talking directly to the fans about how they could really get a message across to you, and you also chuckle while doing so. And it does not go over well.
Tone deaf is the operative word, because the Cardinal fans right now, they do want to send a message, right? There's a lot of, and I'm not so sure that the same group of people that's whining on Twitter and saying, let's send a message and not go to the games, I can pretty much guarantee that they aren't the people that are going to games every day with season tickets. They aren't going to attend 70 of the 82 this year. That would be incongruous, wouldn't it? And I think angry Twitter fan probably doesn't spend nearly as much money as a typical season ticket holder anyway. But you are right. When you're talking to the broad spectrum of fans, that is a comment that probably would have been better left unsaid. And by the way, he did expand on that comment.
We just turned this revenue machine into a payroll machine. I mean, that's what this is, this business. I mean, we try to drive as much revenue as we can, and then it gets put on the field for the most part. We have to obviously put on all sorts of other expenses. We talked about the stadium earlier and all kinds of other things. But you know what I'm getting at is we take those. We try to, I'll just give you another way of saying the same thing. If you look at the revenue rankings in MLB, for the most part, with a few rare exceptions, your ranking in revenue translates into your ranking in payroll. And, that's been true of the Cardinals, for many, many years. And, we have been sort of around the 10th out of 30th, plus or minus, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's where our payroll's been.
And, Brooke, that's hard to argue. But here's the issue that I think most Cardinal fans would have, most people that are paying attention and are rational, is it's great to be where the Cardinals are relative to market size. There's a number 24 market, like he said, 10, 11, 12, 13 in payroll. However, when you're signing people like Mike Leake and Dexter Fowler and Brett Cecil and Andrew Miller and giving Matt Carpenter the extension that he got down the stretch, that's not effective use of the money. The Yankees and Dodgers can afford to make big mistakes financially. With the Cardinals' revenues as they are, they can't afford to make big mistakes financially, and they've been doing so. And that's one of the reasons that they are where they are. If the money had been spent, and even if I would say that all 5 of those players I just referenced, all 5 of them, 100% inefficient spending by the Cardinals. Even if they got to 50% efficiency and got quality out of those dollars spent, I think fans would be reasonably happy.
100%. It's about the quality of what you're spending. That's the thing.
Yeah, I want to add Steven Matz to that list, too.
Okay, yeah. Steven Matz, who, by the way, he will not be pitching today, as we know, but it seems like he encountered another setback this past weekend, and so it'll be Matthew Liberatore on the mound today. So that just kind of shows you the state of where starting pitching is at currently for the Cardinals. There's no depth. So even though you had all those guys who came in this past offseason that they added to this team, which I understand the approach, the innings eaters, Sonny Gray, that was a great addition to this team. But Randy, you and I, because I think a lot of people misunderstood what you were talking about with Sonny Gray. You're not denying that he is a good starter.
He's a good starter.
It was just that one of the things is that we kept bringing up is that you need another front-end starter to go along with Sonny Gray. And now look at the position you're in right now because you don't have that much depth. Yes, you added some innings eaters, but now you have a situation where Steven Matz, who has an injury history that you've known about, once again, he's injured again, even though you eased him into spring training, and now you're in a situation where you don't have much pitching depth and there's not much on the way. So you're having Matthew Liberatore, who looked great coming out of the pen. Now he's back into your starting rotation, and you hope that works out. But then I also don't want to see another young pitcher get burned in a situation, which is something that we've seen time and time again. So it's how you're spending your payroll is the biggest part. That's why I think that bringing in Chaim Bloom is a part of the bigger plan here. So the bigger plan being is to do what the Rays did, which is what Bloom did during his time, which is to lessen that payroll, but still maybe develop some of these younger pitchers.
And maximize the talent that you have on hand. That's one thing that the Rays do better than anybody, is they get more quality out of their players than any other team in baseball. There's not much fat on the bone when Tampa Bay is in business. So I get... And first of all, people use the word attack, that Bill DeWitt III was attacking Cardinal fans. He wasn't attacking Cardinal fans. He just said that he's amused by the fact that people think that if they spend less money on the Cardinals are going to spend more.
And he's not wrong. It's just not the right approach to take currently right now.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, if the Cardinals attendance is down this year and the revenue is, I'm not going to say attendance. I'll just say if the revenue is down, then the payroll is going to go down. They do spend payroll dollars equivalent to revenue, and they aren't in the business of losing money. We know that.
Exactly. And it's not, the thing is I think it's very accurate with what he's saying. It makes sense with any business, right? Supply and demand. And then once demand is running out, we got an ESPN notification that just
Want to know?
But here's sure. What is it? Is it breaking
Great
news?
Osibor transfers from Utah State to Washington with $2 million in NIL deals in place. Great Osibor.
Well, that's good. Why would they? Okay, that's an ESPN notification.
$2 million.
Okay. Wow.
He's solid.
Who is he? Top available player
Great's
in the
a little
transfer
much.
portal.
I think Great's a little much.
I'm trying to find what sport he plays.
He's a basketball player.
Okay, good.
They should maybe put that in the notification just for clarification.
The report's from Jonathan Gavoni, who's Draft Express. He's been a Prospects NBA draft guy for a long time.
Okay.
But here's the thing, going back to what we were talking about with Build It With the Third, is that I understand what he's saying. What he's wrong, he's not wrong from a business sense. It makes sense. You could really apply what he said to literally anything, any company, but at the same time, you are working and you're the owner of a team, and teams notoriously for any fan base are extremely emotional. So you just have to watch the way that you approach that situation. And also, I think a lot of people understand that, yes, like showing up to games doesn't necessarily do anything. A lot of their money is made off of TV revenue. But the point is that should still alarm you that people do not want to turn up to your games.
I think the Cardinals need to be wary of everything they say because they're at a flashpoint right now.
Exactly.
And their fan base is ready to explode. Not everybody that's coming to the stadium, but the social media fans, the people that have that voice on social media, are ready to explode. And so they need to be wary of what they say and how they say it. I know it's an unfortunate thing, but it's reality when your team is bad in 2024.
But also show an example, too, of, okay, say that you want to have that money put back into the team, but you still want fans to show up. Where is there many examples of that? Like, who is just going to continue to show up to something where it's not a good product on the field in any sport? Nobody
should be expected to buy any bad product.
Exactly.
No, and that's and one of the things the Cardinals need to do if it's going to work for them under these circumstances. They're going to be able to have the Goldschmidts and the Grays and the Arenados. They're going to have to be like Tampa Bay. If people don't show up like they don't in Tampa Bay, and you still want to be good, you're going to have to do a better job of having well-schooled fundamental players, and you're going to have to do a better job of identifying other teams' talents and your own talents. Because that's what Tampa Bay does. If you want to be Tampa Bay, that's the way you're going to have to do it. That's Brooke. I'm Randy. Coming up, Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, talking some hockey here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. And you know what? You know that adage that when you treat your employees well, those employees are going to do well for other people. That's exactly what happens at Classic Air Care. There's been some older heating and air conditioning companies that maybe have gone out of business, and Classic Air Care has helped take over their areas, helped take over those companies. And what have they done? They brought those employees in. Those employees, maybe somebody was working for that other company for 20 years. They keep their tenure at Classic Air Care. Classic Air Care treats them and gives them the benefits of a 20-year employee. Well, when those people continue to come to your house, you know you're going to get not only those 20-plus years of expertise, but you're going to get that quality service because those employees are being taken care of really well. That's the quality people you're dealing with when you call Classic Air Care. So if your air conditioner's on the fritz, maybe you haven't had it serviced, get it ready for the summer, get online, book an appointment at classicaircare.com, call them up, have them come over to the house and get the expert service that you deserve, that you need to make your house comfortable. Check out their Google rating, 4.8 rating on Google. All the reviews are fantastic. ClassicAirCare.com, making people comfortable since 1926.
It's time for Curbside with the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
Brooke Grimsley, Randy Karraker, and it's the opening drive on 101 ESPN. The voice of the Blues here on 101 ESPN is Chris Kerber. He joins us now, as he does every Monday morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Randy, doing well. How are you today?
Everything's good. I sure enjoy watching hockey playoffs. And Brooke and I have talked a lot about this, how the Stanley Cup playoffs are our favorite playoffs to watch. But to watch a team with the grit that the Panthers have come back last night against Boston, and by the way, boy, was Jim Montgomery hot. But that was just a fun game to watch.
It was a fun game to watch. I think the second round has been a lot more enjoyable even than the first round. And I think that happens pretty much when you get fortunate enough that you don't have too many real upsets in the first round. So 8 of the top 9 records in the NHL in the regular season made it to the second round. Now you're seeing it battle out, and that is a heck of a series. I mean, those two teams started it last year. They continued it this year. Last year it was Florida down 3-1. Now it's Boston down 3-1. And Paul Maurice has that Florida team just kind of clicking on all cylinders. And I'll tell you the other thing, too, Randy, in these plays, it's been amazing how teams have just not been able to hold leads.
Mm-hmm, right.
I mean, that's been a real factor in these playoffs. But, yeah, Jim Montgomery was hot just that game. And once again, the NHL proving that what goaltender interference is just a roll of the dice, as much as they've tried to clean it up. We had if the fans that didn't see that, when Bennett basically, I think it was Carlo, when he shoved Carlo into the goaltender, it made Swayman, unable to get across the net. And the league looks at some of those and goes, well, the goalie didn't have a chance anyway. I'm not sure they should look at it that way. I mean, so Boston fans, I think, have a legit gripe. But then again, brilliant play by Bennett, got away with it, and they won the game.
Curbs, that's what I was going to ask you about, is because that was a lot of controversy in yesterday's game, and it really changed the momentum in there. So you believe that Sam Bennett's goal was good there? There wasn't goaltender interference?
Listen, I don't believe it was a good goal. I believe that the referees absolutely botched it. If you look at the Rangers game, and I think it might have been Trocheck that cross-checked. I can't remember exactly who it was in the Rangers-Carolina series. And it was up near the blue line, and it basically knocked the guy down. Well, if you were going to call that kind of cross-check, to me, then this is a cross-check. Like, you cross-check the player in the back into the goaltender. The goaltender can't get across the crease to have a chance at the puck. You can make the case that that's goaltender interference. Now, that's not really how the rule is written. And guys, this has been a problem since the National Hockey League put in instant replay. They didn't rewrite the rules or write the rules for your frame-by-frame, replay. And if there's been any one rule that's been an absolute, cluster bunk would be the proper way to say that, so we don't get into the FCC problems. It's goalie interference. And they just haven't found a way to clean it up. They've gotten better at it, right? But in that case, if you listen to the TNT postgame show there, they said that they talked to the league, and the league said that there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. I don't know what the hell they were looking at. But the problem is you can't review a cross-check, right?
Right.
So there are certain rules like the puck over the net. You can go back and look at an entry for offside review. You can't review a cross-check, which to me meant that if I'm Jimmy Montgomery, I'm not even challenging that thing, to be honest with you, and taking that chance. But it's still a rule that needs some work and needs some cleanup, if just from clarity, because you can still talk to coaches and goaltenders, and they go, "No, we have really no clue what the consistency is on that." But dude, that's playoff hockey, and it was a hell of a great hockey game.
It was great. The IIHF World Championships are underway, and the Blues have 5 players participating, including both goalies for Team Canada. I wonder when the last time that happened, Curbs, was that one NHL team, had 2 goalies on a country's team.
Yeah, I didn't look that up, Randy. I didn't. It's a great question. We'll get on that one and see if we can follow it up with you. But they're playing well. Watching, Canada's opening game the other day, and how about seeing the captain, the C on Colton Parayko? Mm-hmm. So first off, here's the cool thing that you have. Now, the World Championships, it's bigger in pretty much every other country but the United States. The Stanley Cup playoffs obviously mean more than that. But to a lot of these other countries, I mean, it's like a yearly Olympic tournament, and it means a ton. The United States is a solid team. I don't think they're as good as Canada's team. And you go top to bottom and you look at Canada's team. What's happened here is because the National Hockey League, over the course of this past season, they announced the Four Nations tournament that's going to happen next year, and then the NHL players are returning to the Olympics the following year. Well, these countries are now leveraging, hey, if you want a chance to play in that or the Olympics, when we call, you might want to say yes, whether it's comfortable or not. And so you'll have some players that are dealing with injuries like for example, it would have been another great opportunity for Jake Neighbors, right? But Jake Neighbors had played into June with world championships and stuff over the last couple of seasons. He was a little banged up. And so from a health standpoint, it's a good thing that he didn't go. And I think, teams recognize that. But if you're like Bill Guerin pretty much flat out and said, hey, you might want to show us now that you want to play for your country if you want to play for your country in the Olympics in 2 years. And so the rosters on these teams are really fantastic. And when we talked about Hofer and Bennington being as good a 1-2 tandem as there was in the NHL in the regular season, now Team Canada's got them. But again, all the heat over the last, not this past year, but the previous couple of years that Colton Parayko was taking, Randy, and we kept saying to everybody, oh, look, like if Canada had a choice, they're taking them, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they took them in this one, and they even put the C on them. So pretty good tournament and great experience for these guys.
Hey, Curbs, before we let you go, what is the best fit for Craig Berube? Rumors about him going to Toronto, rumors about him going to New Jersey. Where do you think Chief is the best fit?
Yeah, I've heard that he's interviewed for both. I got to tell you, I love the idea of him in Toronto more so than New Jersey. I think Toronto would. New Jersey's missing something, and I mean I know Toronto's missing something too, but New Jersey's just kind of got that fast kind of game. I don't think they've got the players that can grow into the kind of grind it out, battle it out game that Berube's ready to coach. I think Toronto might be a little more poised and ready for that. So to me, and honestly, just from a pure, there's two things here. One, I think New Jersey would be great for him because it's much closer to home, and after living here in St. Louis 5 years, kind of away from the family,
right.
I think that would be great for him. So there's the personal side of there. For me, I would love to see Toronto firing questions at Craig Berube and those press conferences on a nightly basis. Like he'd calm them all down. It'd be fantastic. So I guess I'm kind of torn. There's the personal and then there's the fun for me. And Toronto would be the fun for me, the personal for him. I think New Jersey would be great.
Curbs, always good to hear your voice. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have an awesome week, you guys. Thank you.
See you later. That is Chris Kerber, the voice of the Blues here on 101 ESPN. Coming up, we've got the fight, and we need a fighter. So you can text in 314-399-9646, 314-399-YO-HO. If you would like to fight against me, maybe Matthew will pick you next on 101 ESPN.
It's time to roll. After 5 straight sellout crowds to end last season, Mizzou football is ready to rock again in 2024. Don't miss epic matchups as Auburn, Oklahoma, and Arkansas return to Faurot Field. Lock in your tickets now and join the electric atmosphere with 62,000 of your closest Tiger friends. Call 1-800-CAT-PAWS or visit mutigers.com/tickets to secure yours today. Welcome to the jungle, MIZ.
BT here with you for my friends over at Mentality. Fellas, maybe you're dealing with low energy, a lack of motivation. Maybe you're moody, could be irritable. You know what these are? These are all signs of low testosterone. It doesn't matter what age you are. That can affect any man out there, but there's an answer. The answer is Mentality, and you got to check them out at the website, lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. Mentality is also covered by most insurances, fellas. Get in there, check them out. It's Mentality.
This is such a great time to be using your grill outside, and make sure that you get everything that you need to put on that grill at Schnucks. And when you go in, make sure you download your Schnucks Rewards app so that you can get 2% back on every single purchase that you make. But you go in, maybe pick up some, get some asparagus to put on the grill tonight, and then head on back to the seafood department and maybe pick up a little swordfish, or maybe head on over to the best butcher in town and get some of their fantastic ribeye. And don't forget to stop by the best bakery and get some of their great chocolate chip cookies for dessert. Everything that you buy at Schnucks is so fresh and so delicious. It's absolutely fantastic. And when you use the Schnucks Rewards app, when you get to the register, it's simple. All you need to do is shop and earn and redeem. Show your barcode or use your phone number at checkout. And not only do you get points and money off, but the Schnucks Rewards app has a lot of other features designed to make your grocery shopping easier, including, if you desire to use this, a little map that takes you all around the store to make your shopping experience a lot more efficient. I use Schnucks Rewards. I did yesterday when I stopped by Schnucks, and I hope you will too. When you're going shopping, make sure you download the Schnucks Rewards app first.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. Call today for a free mortgage checkup. Pay off those credit cards. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Old Lending cured my
NMLS 114937.
Sponsored by Indeed.com.
Take the fast lane home weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carrie Davis on 101 ESPN. Two former pros and one average Joe. The fast lane is driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated, which means your HVAC system has to work harder than it needs to. The more your system runs, the higher energy costs. With a properly maintained HVAC system and proper insulation, you'll see an increase in your home energy savings, an increase in your comfort, and better indoor air quality. Get in your comfort zone with blown-in attic insulation. For more details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals dropped 3 of 4 to Milwaukee. They are now 16-24 through their first 40, and they sit 8 games behind Milwaukee in the NL Central. They'll start a 3-game series against the Angels tonight, 8:38 p.m. It's a late one because they're on the coast. It'll be the lefty, Matthew Liberatore, facing off against the righty for the Angels, Jose Serrano. Serrano on the season is 1-4 with a 4.32 ERA. That is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American-stated heating and air conditioning dealer.
Live from the Car Shield studio. Welcome to the fight. In the red corner, Average Joe Listener. And in the blue corner, the undisputed king of morning drive. Please welcome Randy Karraker.
Welcome back to the opening drive. Brooke, Rock, and Randy here, and it is time for the fight. And our fighter today is Mike. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really good. Is this your first time facing Randy in the fight?
It is, yeah. First timer.
Ooh. First timer. Nervous? Scared?
No, I'm excited. I am amped. I've texted every single person I can within a reasonable amount of time. I'm super excited.
Oh, so you're even making sure that they tune in for this.
Oh, yeah.
Danger Will Robinson.
Okay, I'm looking at the text line now to see how long you've been Mike, you've been texting in for a while.
And I will continue to text in.
There we go. All right, you ready to face Randy in the fight?
I am. Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1 for the first-timer Mike. Happy birthday to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Where did Mathieu play in college? Was it Arizona State, Auburn, or LSU?
LSU, final answer.
Which current Blue has the most career Blues playoff points with 32? Is it Braden Shen, Robert Thomas, or Colton Parayko?
Gosh, I'm just guessing on this one. I'm gonna say Shen. Final answer.
Question 3, Mike. The Cardinals have been the victim of 2 of the 6 all-time 3-1 World Series comebacks, falling against the 85 Royals and which other World Series opponent? Was it the Yankees, the 28 Yankees, the 28 Yankees?
1928.
Oh, 1928. Oh, my God, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
1928 Yankees, the 68 Tigers, or the 13 Red Sox?
I'm going to say 13 Red Sox. Final answer.
All right, and on this day in 1962, Stan the Man became the NL's all-time career leader in hits with 3,431. He eventually would be passed, of course. But who did he pass on that day? Was it Tris Speaker, Hannes Wagner, or Cap Anson?
The last one. Final answer. I'm sorry.
Cap Anson, final answer?
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
All right. We will double check our score. We'll bring in Randy Karraker.
All right, how are you feeling, Mike?
I'm feeling good about a couple of them. I mean, win or lose, this is awesome. So, but yeah, I'm feeling good.
Nice. I like your attitude for this Monday. And here comes Randy Karraker. The bag of grapes is empty, Mike. Be careful here.
Oh.
And
what about the
No Propel today. Today is fueled by a Diet Dr. Pepper, and it's a big one, too.
From Schnucks.
From Schnucks. What size is that?
That is a 1 quart, 1.8 fluid ounces, or 1 liter. This is a 1 liter Diet Dr. Pepper. Thanks to our friends at Diet Dr. Pepper.
Do you like Dr. Pepper Zero or just the Diet?
I like Diet Dr. Pepper Zero.
Is there a difference in taste?
That tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
And I'm fine with Diet Dr. Pepper, though. It's delicious.
There you go. All right, Randy, say hi to Mike. He's a first-time fighter.
Oh, Mike, thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you with us on the opening drive. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you.
You ready for question number 1, Randy?
I'm ready.
Happy birthday to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Where did Matthew play in college?
Well, while he played in college before he was suspended for smoking the devil's lettuce, he went to Louisiana State University. That would be LSU, the place where Billy Cannon played.
Billy Cannon, okay. Wasn't expecting that reference today, but all right. Randy, which current Blue has the most career Blues playoff points with 32?
Current Blue has the most Blues playoff points. A logical choice here would be Braden Shen, because I think he's far and away number 1 in terms of longevity with the squad. Karraker doesn't have that many. I'm going to go, let's see. I don't think it's Thomas. Although Thomas, they might be close. I will go with, I'll go with Schenner, though.
Final.
Let me think here. Let's see. Let me go through the numbers quickly. 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
I shouldn't have said anything.
That's all right.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I'll go with Schenner.
All right, question 3. You ready for that one?
Ready.
The Cardinals have been the victim of 2 of the 6 all-time 3-1 World Series comebacks, falling to the 85 Royals, and which other World Series opponent?
That was a bummer in 1985. I think they were ahead of Detroit in 1968, if I'm not mistaken. And they lost to the Tigers 3-1. Let me just, again, we'll run through these. It didn't happen in 2004. They were never ahead in that one. 87, it was every home team won. So I'm going to go with the 1968 Tigers. I'm going to go with that one. Final answer.
All right, and on this day in 1962, Stan the Man became the National League's all-time career hits leader with 3,431 hits. He would obviously eventually be passed by Hank Aaron and then Pete Rose. But on that day, who did Stan the Man Musial pass for that lead?
I have the lifeline here. So, it was hit number what for him?
3,431.
So 3,430. And it was the National League record.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll do the lifeline.
Tris Speaker, Hannes Wagner, or Cap Anson?
I think I'm going to go with the early day Paul DeYoung.
Jesus.
Oh no!
I hate that I know.
I forgot about that.
I hate how I know what your answer is from that reference. But for the people who luckily avoided that reference, can you explain what your answer is?
Hannes Wagner.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Hey, he's doing really well this season, by the way.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
Yeah, well, better than some of the other Cardinals hitters. I think you would take what Paul DeYoung's doing currently right now.
No doubt about it, eh?
We have a winner in today's fight. Mike is a first-time fighter. Does he get a little beginner's luck with a victory today? Or does Megamind start his week off right? Ring that bell.
The winner and still champion of the fight, Randy Karraker.
The fight is presented by Golf Discount of St. Louis, with the most experienced club fitters in town. Why shop anywhere else?
I'm sorry, Mike. Randy Karraker took you down 3-1 today.
That's all right. I knew after question 2 I was starting to struggle a little bit, but that's all right.
Yeah, that'll happen. Let's go through the questions and the answers. Happy birthday to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. He did in fact play at LSU. He had a little trouble, ran into a little trouble there, but not as bad as the guys.
Wacky weed got to him.
Not as bad as the guys
lettuce.
who.
What are some other ones?
Oh,
well, you've got the.
We missed doing that this year.
Yeah, the Bambalaya.
Yeah.
You've got Acapulco Black.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. You've got Puffin the Magic Dragon. All of that stuff. Go ahead.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
That's one of my favorite ones. Which current Blue has the most Blues career playoff points? It is, in fact, Colton Parayko with 32.
Wow.
Braden Shen is just behind him with 25. The Cardinals have been the victim of 2 of the 6 all-time 3-1 World Series comebacks, falling to the 85 Royals, and it was, in fact, how they lost to the 68 Tigers. By the way, there have been 14 total playoff 3-1 comebacks in MLB history. The Cardinals have been a victim of 6.
That's amazing.
It's honestly insane because no other team has more than. I think one other team has more than one. It's insane. The Cardinals have that many.
Be better, Cardinals.
Losses.
Be better.
Come on, Cards. And on this day, 1962, Stan the Man became the NL all-time career hits leader when he passed Hannes Wagner's 3,430 with his 3,431st, eventually being passed by Hank Aaron and, of course, Pete Rose. So that's a 3-1 win for Randy Karraker in the fight today. Thanks again, Mike, for joining the fight and joining the show today.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. Just a quick shout out to my wife and son. Love them both, and thank you guys again.
Thank you, Mike. Great to have you with us. Coming up here on 101 ESPN, we're going to talk to the TV voice of the Cardinals, Chip. Chip Caray is next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for a DraftKings at Casino Queen Redbird report on 101 ESPN.
Brooke Grimsley here for your Redbird report. The Cardinals were finally able to salvage a win over the Milwaukee Brewers, beating them 4-3 on Sunday, snapping their season-high 7-game losing streak, and it was their first win in 7 games this year against the Brewers. The Cardinals were able to head to California, now 8 games back of the division-leading Milwaukee Brewers. In the game, Miles Michaelis tossed 6 innings of 3-run ball, and it was Michael Ciani's double in the 7th inning that drove in Brendan Donovan to break a 3-3 tie, leading to the Cardinals' 4-3 victory. Tonight, Matthew Liberatore will make his second start of the season, filling in for injured Steven Matz in the opener of a 3-game series against the Angels. First pitch is at 8:38.
The Redbird Report is presented by DraftKings at Casino Queen. Play, stay, dine at DraftKings at Casino Queen.
If you've spent time in St. Louis, you know that it's going to be hot in the summer. And that's why you need to get in touch with my friends at Hoffman Brothers Heating and Cooling. Because if you haven't scheduled your air conditioner tune-up yet, you need to. When's the last time you changed that air filter on your air conditioner? A friendly reminder from Hoffman Brothers that now's the time to get that tune-up scheduled. Don't wait until it stops working. The maintenance on your air conditioner once a year is imperative. And you can call today and schedule online at HoffmanBros.com or just call at 314-664-3011. 314-664-3011. Hoffman Brothers will have their exceptional techs come out to your house. They will take a look at your air conditioner. They'll make sure everything is clean. They'll make sure the filters are changed. And if there is a lifespan to your air conditioner that is reaching its end, they're going to tell you about it, which is important because you want to save up money for your replacement air conditioner. And oh, by the way, they do that too. Hoffman Brothers is an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Again, the number 314-664-3011 or go to Hoffman Bros, HOFFMANN, HoffmanBros.com.
The building.
Chip, I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Brooke Grimsley, Randy Karraker, opening drive, 101 ESPN, and Chip Caray. Chip Kelly's awesome too, but Chip Caray is sensational, even when the Cardinals are out on the West Coast. I text Chip on Sundays, and I say, hey, can I call you at 6:45 your time? He says, sure. And he's always got a smile on his face, and Chip joins us now on the Celebrity Line on 101 ESPN. You're also an offensive guru in college football, in addition to being a great guy.
Well, I know all about being offensive, Randy. I'll try not to do it here.
Chip, you have to tell us about what in the world happened to your foot. I hear that there was pickleball involved and possibly even John Denton of MLB.com and a drop shot that he might have pulled on you. Is this true?
It is true. Our media crew decided, rather unwisely as it turned out, to go to Wauwatosa, Wisconsin and play pickleball. I'd never played before. I was on the team of Katie Wu, John Denton, and Lynn Worthy were on the other side of the net. Katie and I were dominating the game. John Denton decided to drop a ball into the kitchen, and as I lunged for the ball to win the point and ultimately the game, which did happen, my right calf muscle paid the ultimate price, and I tore a muscle in my right calf. So we're in a walking boot for a couple of weeks. No pickleball for a little while, but we're on the mend, so it's all good.
Chip, I have a confession. So recently, and I sent Randy this so he knows what I'm about to say here. So recently, I actually joined that pickleball media group last week, and John Denton and I played together, and I got to see what you're talking about. He's extremely competitive, and that's coming from another competitive person. And then after we played, I sent John Denton a drop shot video, a pickleball drop shot video. So I might be partly to blame here in this situation.
Well, thanks a lot, Brooke. I really appreciate it. I'm never talking to you again.
Chip, how different was that flight last night? You talk about it being able just to exhale after finally getting a win.
Yeah, they needed that. Look, they have not played badly. That's what's so frustrating. I can sum up what's happened to the Cardinals against Milwaukee with one stat. I believe this team is 4 for 53 with runners in scoring position against Milwaukee pitching. Think about that. 4 for 53, and we've dropped 6 of 7 games against a team that leads the division. Paul Goldschmidt had a big day, hit a home run, drove in a couple of runs, and I think, if you listen to what Ollie said the other day, sometimes you get punched in the nose, you got to punch back. That's exactly what they did. That was a game that last year certainly would have spiraled out of control. Miles Michaelis got squeezed a couple of times, we thought, in the first inning, threw 42 pitches, gave up 3 runs. We're thinking, here we go again. But the Cardinals, as I said on the broadcast, didn't land a haymaker, but kept hitting jabs to the nose and eventually eked out just enough offense to win. And the pitching was outstanding. The defense was outstanding. So, look, it was a momentum win for the team. Being 8 back is a heck of a lot better than being 10 back. The Brewers, I'm still convinced, are going to have trouble with that pitching staff. with all the bullpen innings they have to pile up. And if the Cardinals offense gets going and they keep pitching like they are doing, I think it's going to be a race. They just got to have a great series against the Angels and then come home when the competition gets even more fierce. So you're right, Randy. It was a huge win, big win. Everybody's spirits were high. Our first win on a Sunday this year. So, look, maybe we're grasping at straws, but any kind of momentum right now is something this team wants, needs, and is happy to take advantage of.
Chip, speaking of pitching, and hopefully you'll talk to me again just for this question, but speaking of pitching, Matthew Liberatore will be going tonight on the mound as the Cardinals will face the Angels. Another setback for Steven Matz. What are you expecting from Liberatore tonight?
Well, hopefully he does exactly what he did last time out. To go through the lineup at least one time, maybe a little longer than that, and minimize damage and give the Cardinals offense a chance to get a lead and take over. Matthew's made great strides. The new slider and cutter that he's been throwing has been very effective, and I see a young man whose confidence just continues to grow with each time he goes out there. He's a really talented kid, and he's pitching the way that they used to train young guys in the major leagues. You learn your chops in the bullpen. And then when you learn how to pitch, you come in and you earn a starting assignment. Who knows? Maybe that's what's in the future for Liberatore. But no question about it, with Steven Matz being out for a while, there's an opportunity for someone, and we'll see if Matthew, who's first in line to take it, does exactly that starting tonight.
Hey, Chip, you don't want to fall behind 3-0, but at the end of the day, Miles Michaelis did deliver a quality start. And I think a lot of people, and I was one of them, I was hoping for 7-2. That, to me, is the quality start. But for the strict definition of the quality start, what the Cardinals did during the offseason more often than not is working. They're getting 6 innings and 3 or fewer earned runs out of their starting pitchers.
That's exactly right. They're giving their offense a chance to win the game, and that's the nature of the game now. Look, Randy, you and I are kind of dinosaurs. The days of guys throwing 9 innings are probably long gone. That's the game has changed that way, and we're going to have to reconcile that as far as how we describe what's happening and how we see teams get put together. But you cannot say anything bad about what Lance Lynn has done. He's kept the ball in the ballpark. You can't say anything bad about what Kyle Gibson has done. This guy has been even better than I think anyone imagined him being. This is a guy that had great success with a terrific Baltimore team last year. We all know how good Sonny Gray is, whose routine was screwed up because of the rain delay back in St. Louis and didn't have his best stuff, his only clinker so far in a Cardinals uniform. So you're right. The 3 new guys have done everything that the Cardinals front office envisioned them doing, and that should be applauded. The bullpen, by and large, has been excellent. When you get the lead, you get a chance to go to Romero and Kittredge and Helsley. Cardinals bullpen is as lethal as anybody's in Major League Baseball. It's for the want of a big hit when that moment comes that has really sunk this team to this point. But as we saw yesterday, I think we're seeing signs of that beginning to change with Goldschmidt and Gorman swinging the bat better. Arenado's been better. Ciani's figured some things out. What a hitter he's been. He's the hottest hitter on the team, as a matter of fact. So we're getting more and more contributions from more than just 1 or 2 guys, and that's how an offense really has to flow. And when this one does, I think we'll see the same from the team.
Okay, I don't know if you've put much thought into this, but you are an active guy on the road. You like to do the hot girl walk. You like to get out and do things. You like to be with the rest of the media. Now you're going to be laid up for a couple of weeks. What are you going to do?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't need to work on mixology. I've got that figured out, as we all know. Can't do any cooking classes because I'm not going to carry a Cuisinart with me on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll have an answer for you next week, but by that time the road trip will be over and I'll be bored back at home doing the games. So I'll have to put some thought to it. But it will be fun. I can promise you that. It won't be something ordinary.
And Chip, the first time we ever talked when you came into the studio after getting the job, you said, hey, I want this to all be about fun. I'm so glad that you're taking that hat on the road with you.
Yeah, I am. I wore the hat. In fact, I actually got Jim Edmonds to go to the game on Saturday. It was a night off for us, and we sat right by the on-deck circle, and I had the hat on the whole time. And then we decided to scoot out after the 8th inning or so. I tried to get Jim to wear the hat. He wouldn't oblige. But maybe tonight at the ballpark, we'll have Jim wear a hat. We'll see if it works out.
Sounds good. Have a great time in SoCal, and we'll see you when you guys get back home. Thank you.
Look forward to it, guys. Thanks for the chat. See you soon.
Take care. That is Chip Caray, TV voice of the Cardinals, joining us on 101 ESPN.
Not Chip Kelly.
Not the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Coming up here on 101 ESPN, we've got our rush hour reset on the opening drive.
Did you know there's a way to do Pick'em right now for your daily fantasy game in Missouri thanks to Underdog Fantasy? It's their newest game, Pick'em Champions. You just select 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select higher or lower on the player's stats. Once your entry is ready, pick your entry fee and submit it to be placed in a contest alongside other underdogs. Don't worry about all that. As long as you hit your entries, you're going to be walking away with your winnings. Let's put together an entry for tonight. And you know what? My philosophy today is going to be why go lower? Life's too short. So we're going to go higher on all our marks today. Higher than 43.5 points, rebound, and assists for the St. Louis boy, Jason Tatum. Higher than 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Donovan Mitchell because that Cavaliers-Celtics series is getting intense. And we're going to go with a Cardinals offense coming off a win, feeling good against a not-so-great pitcher in Jose Soriano. We're going to go for higher than 4.5 hits allowed for Jose Soriano in the game. That's a scorcher, so it's going to take our odds up to 6.6 for this one. I feel good about this entry, but you can feel any better. You can take those odds even higher, over 10x. Here's how you do it. First of all, Underdog's super easy to play and even easier to get started. You're just going to go to the easy-to-use mobile app, download it on your phone, or you can go to a desktop at UnderdogFantasy.com. You're going to sign up with the promo code ROCC, and that's when Underdog is going to give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick of entry and a deposit offer. You use that mystery special pick, you're going to take this entry from 6.6 to over 10. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code ROCC to claim your new customer special of a mystery player pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus in present state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Consider with your play call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
It is 9:02 in St. Louis. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley, Matthew Rocchio, Randy Karraker, and time for the Rush Hour Reset. And we've got news this morning. We've got news for you.
Breaking news?
Thursday, September 5th, 7:20 St. Louis time. NBC. Week 1 of the NFL season kicks off with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The traditional NFL opener with the Super Bowl champ hosting on the first Thursday night game. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Ooh, that one will be really good.
I'm looking forward to it already.
I am. Now, Rashee Rice, has he already been suspended?
No,
I don't know if this is why this is my first thought in my head.
He will probably be suspended for at least the first 8 games, unless beating somebody up. He might have even hit a cop last week.
I thought it was a photographer.
A photographer, there you go.
Yeah, it was a photographer.
Yeah.
That whole story is wild. I only read a little bit of it, but apparently there was a disagreement and he texted or reached out to the photographer to come back.
That's right.
To the restaurant, and then he punched him in the face. This is, of course, coming after that car accident.
Well, and he knew, obviously, to text him, he knew the guy, right? To bring him back.
It's such a weird story. I will never understand. Like, maybe just stay out of trouble for a little bit until they figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's why they probably knew something was coming down with Rashee, and that's why they drafted Xavier Worthy. They've still got some other work to do, though, the Chiefs do, in terms of, they signed Hollywood Brown, too. Right, so they've got that going for them, which is nice.
It will be so weird seeing Derrick Henry not with the Titans.
Oh, yeah. So that's right, on the opener, too.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this. If there's a team here that you would have rather seen play at Kansas City for the opener, they play Denver? Probably not, right?
No.
Bo Nix. Raiders? No.
No.
Aiden O'Connell. Chargers? Jim Harbaugh?
Maybe, but maybe.
Yeah, Bengals, return of
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. There's always great storylines with Joe Burrow and Mahomes.
Then Saints? No.
No.
Bucks? No.
No.
And then the other one that would have been interesting, Houston Texans.
Oh, that would have been a really good one. Isn't that crazy just how much a year can change your thought process around a whole team? But that's because of CJ Stroud, and everything that they're doing over there. And they've made some really good additions this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be a dangerous team this season.
Yeah, that'll be a primetime game. But Baltimore with Lamar, he won the MVP, right? So you've got the MVP against the Super Bowl champ. That's pretty good.
That'll be a really good game.
So that was a good call. The Cardinals will open up a 3-game series tonight in Anaheim, and they'll try to keep the winning streak. Try to start a winning streak.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Does Pujols, is he's still contractually obligated to be a part of the Angels, correct?
He is, yes.
It was 10 years of service time.
Right. So I don't know, though, if he goes to the game, if he's required, like if he's going to wear a cap at the game. He probably wouldn't wear a cap for either team. But if he was going to wear a team cap, it'd probably have to be the Angels cap.
Or it could be like what sometimes the parents do for if their kids play for different teams, like half and half.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So it doesn't make everybody angry.
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea.
I'm a fan of everybody.
Yeah, he probably won't be there.
No, I don't think
How
so.
about
whatsoever.
Yachty? You think Yachty will make an appearance?
No.
Okay.
When will we see Yachty? Well, okay, here's a good question for today. What would it take to see Yadier Molina back around the organization? I'm talking about actually back, because technically he does have a role, okay? But I'm saying actually back involved into the organization where we'd actually see him possibly in the dugout.
I think it's going to have to be all out. I think he's going to have to wind up wearing jersey number 4 at the edge of the dugout.
All or nothing with Yachty.
I think so. What do you think?
I think 100% you're right. Because that's how Yachty is. I think that he will, I don't know. I feel like he would have to be 100% back into it in that way.
Matthew Liberatore pitches against Jose Soriano tonight after the Cardinals did win yesterday by a score of 4-3 in Milwaukee. They salvaged the finale of a 4-game series, and they're only 8 games back. Could have been 10 back if they would have lost that game. Only 8 games behind. Paul Goldschmidt with a homer. He also had an RBI hit. And Mike Ciani, former Raiders wide receiver, with an RBI double to win the game with a 7th-inning RBI double.
Who would have thunk it? And also, who would have thought that Michael Ciani would have the most hits of any Cardinal so far in May? That's more than Nolan Arenado, Newt Barr, and also has an 8-game hitting streak. And I wanted to say, I'm happy for him, but also that's kind of a problem when Michael Ciani is the one that has the most hits out of any Cardinal on this team.
Yeah, by all rights, should not be on your team.
No. None whatsoever.
By the way, what's going on with Tommy Edman, speaking of center field?
I have no idea. We haven't been getting many updates. Another issue is the whole Steven Matz situation. Because we've had so much going on, we haven't really been able to dive into that. But it was another setback for him. So he had to get another injection. Why did they send him out in the first place if they knew that he was dealing with some sort of issues with his back, and Steven Matz with his injury history? And you even had to ease him into spring training because you know that he's dealt with injuries in the past, and you know that you have to be very careful about that. Why would you throw him back into a game when you know that he's ailing from something?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why you would do that. It just makes no sense. Yeah, he's been battling through it. Well, they did that with Wynn. Remember when we were complaining about Wynn not playing, and they said, well, then they come out later and said he's really been battling through a sore back.
Oh, yeah.
That really...
They did it with Gorman.
Yeah. Why all these back issues, too?
I don't
know. I know Otani's got back problems right now. I've never seen a team. I don't think I've even seen a football team with more back issues than this team has. It's crazy.
There's got to be something you can do to at least help it a little bit.
You know,
put a heating pad. Has anybody told him to put a heating pad on it yet? Take some ibuprofen. That helps with inflammation. That'd be advice that I'd send out. Just be like, have you put a heating pad on it? Do some stretches. Ibuprofen.
Yeah, Cardinals have hired their new trainer. It's Brooke Grimsley.
And you can pay me $85,000 a year.
Yeah. NHL Panthers over the Bruins last night, 3-2, and they take a 3-1 lead in the series. Canucks take a 2-1 lead over Edmonton with a 4-1 or a 4-3 victory. NBA playoffs, the Pacers drilled the Knicks 121-89. That series even at 2 games apiece. Nuggets are even with the T-Wolves now at 2 apiece after Denver won last night by a 115-107 count. And Rory McIlroy with the final round 65. He wins the Wells Fargo Championship and heads to Louisville in the PGA Championship this coming weekend with a lot of momentum.
There you go.
Go, Rory.
How do you feel about Rory McIlroy currently right now? Are you still back and forth with him? Because it's a little all over the place.
Right. I love the golf, and I hope that he's able to just settle his mind and get back to just being a good golfer. But you know what? It doesn't seem to me like he wants to limit himself to golf. It sounds to me like that's a guy that wants some juice in the say of what goes on the tours.
That 100%. That's exactly what's happening. And I think he wants more of the World Tour involvement, which that's going to cause some controversy with the PGA. By the way, we keep getting these texts because you missed a golden opportunity, Randy. Randy, when did all these back issues occur?
Oh, well, it started about a week back.
I had to do it to appease the masses on the text line.
They've got to hear that. So that brings you up to date on what's happening in the world of sports today. And tonight's and the NHL games. Tonight was a big schedule, I think. Hold on, let me get to it. The Monday schedule has the Hurricanes at the Rangers. That series led by New York 3-1, so the Rangers can close out Carolina tonight. Then the Stars are at Colorado, and Dallas leads that series 2-1. And I think the Celtics play tonight, too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double-check that for you. Celtics at Cavaliers. Celtics lead 2-1. Thunder at Mavs. And Dallas leads that series 2-1. So a lot going on tonight. And we've got the Avalanche and Stars for you here on 101 ESPN with the pregame at 8 o'clock. Coming up, a major announcement coming from Pro Football Hall of Famer and St. Louis Ram, Isaac Bruce, who joins Brooke and I in the opening drive next on 101 ESPN.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
Hi, Jan. I just adopted a new best friend, and I'm looking for a Toyota so we can make the most out of summer.
With a new RAV4, you can take your pup for a drive up the coast. You can take a Prius to the park for some tug-of-war. Or you can take a Tundra to kayak at a remote lake.
One problem, Jan.
Oh?
My new best friend's a cat.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Hey, if you're looking for a spectacular lunch this afternoon, I want you to stop by and visit my friends at the Fenton Bar and Grill. And it is spectacular. They have the greatest trashed wings that you will ever have. They're delectable. Have them with their signature golden sauce or some ranch, and you will absolutely love the way your lunch starts. And then you can get their chicken Caesar wrap or one of the best burgers in town, $6.99 combo with the burger. And don't forget, it's Meatloaf Monday over at the Fenton Bar and Grill. So when you stop by, you're going to have great food, and you're going to be working with great people. You can say hi to Megan and Kelly and Colleen and the whole gang over at the Fenton Bar and Grill. If the weather's good, and I think it will be, they've got a great patio, one of the best patios in town, and it's just a fun place to go. It's on Rudder Road. It's 2 minutes away from the soccer park in Fenton, and it's the place to be because you get great food, you get great service, and it's all about sports. You're going to be talking sports with people there. So stop by the Fenton Bar and Grill, whether it's for lunch, maybe it's after golf, maybe it's for a happy hour, or maybe you just want to get a great dinner there. Learn more at FentonBarandGrill.com and find out about what they have on the menu. And by all means, when you stop by, tell them Randy sent you at the Fenton Bar and Grill.
So they got to go to work. Warner, the quarterback, fires up the middle. The pass is caught to Isaac, and he's gone.
Amazing. Dick Vermeil told us yesterday that was going to be the first play of the game. It was a play pass with a double post. The players doing their celebration. That's called the bob and weave. One of the things is he has the two receivers in the slot here. They're both going to run a post. And whoever the safety comes off on, they throw it to the other guy. You see the post there, and then the post there. Both of them going to the inside. The guy that they came off on and left free was Isaac Bruce. And the first play, a touchdown.
Oh man, that's so cool to hear. That's I'm 61 years old, and that is the one moment. If you say, Randy, we can take away every sports moment that you've ever witnessed, except for one. That's the one I want to have in my memory, because I saw it when Pat Summerall and John Madden described it there. I saw it from section 414, row HH, seat 9, and I'll never forget it. The Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce joins us now here on 101 ESPN. We love Isaac, and he was in town on Friday over at Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Isaac, good to have you with us. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Randy. Thanks for having me on. First of all, just let me say, just hearing John Madden describe that play all over again, it kind of gives me chills. Perfect description of the play. Like he mentioned, we knew that play was going to be the first play since Thursday when we got in that game. And just to hear his description of how it went down and how it went on, and just hear the roar of the crowd, it just sends chills up my spine, man.
Isaac, as you're looking across the line of scrimmage and you see Dwayne Rudd lined up, how soon did you know that play was going to be a touchdown?
I tell you what, I knew it the first walkthrough that we had that Thursday. I mean, because Coach Mike Martz, he put us in the perfect position. He was a genius at manipulating the defense and making them play the game that we want to play and do the dance that we wanted to dance. And it just worked out perfectly the way it did in practice. We ran it from Thursday, we ran it Friday, and we practiced it again Saturday, and we executed it the very same way.
So, Isaac, that was the 1999 season. Can you believe it's 25 years, 2024, 25 years since that season? I think you guys should celebrate somehow.
Oh, absolutely. It's been 25 years. Me and my teammates, we still keep in touch from the first person on that team to the quote-unquote last person on that team. So we have this opportunity to celebrate Super Bowl 34 in the city of St. Louis, where it was where we won that championship this coming Friday. Not this coming Friday, but September 20th will be the Isaac Bruce Foundation Gridiron Gala at Lowe's, at the brand new Lowe's Hotel, a lovely hotel. I had the privilege of staying there this weekend while I was in town. And just the amenities and everything in it and around it, I think it's done a tremendous job in downtown St. Louis. And you can walk; it's within walking distance to the baseball park. So it'll be great. I think I have a lot of my former teammates coming to town. Tons of guys have already confirmed. Torrey Hope, Ricky Prohl, Coach Mike Martz, Dre Bly, Fred Miller, Keith Lyle. These are some of my close friends. And we're going to allow Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, to take the microphone and tell some stories. I'm sure he has a lot of them, and a lot of people, a lot of fans would be interested in hearing what he has to say.
And Isaac, you're partnering with the St. Louis Cardinals to honor that team, and then your group of guys is going to be honored before the Cardinal game on September 21st. What a weekend, and how cool is it that the Cardinals are partnering with the Isaac Bruce Foundation to bring this team back together?
Well, first of all, you like being around great organizations, and I put the St. Louis Cardinals up there as a great organization. They treat their players, their alumni players, very, very well, very special. Just for them to be a part of this and to partner with the Isaac Bruce Foundation, you know what? I'm floored. I'm very humbled by it, and I'm very grateful for it. I just know that, at least four or five of us better get our right arms ready, because they may want us to throw out the first pitch. So we don't want to go out there and embarrass ourselves.
That'll be great. And you can get tickets for the gala on September 20th at isaacbruce.org. Okay, I want you to tell me about what happened on Friday with the scholarships that you handed out over at Cardinal Ritter.
Once again, my partner, Amron, They combined with me at the Isaac Bruce Foundation. We had the perfect opportunity to bless 2 students from Cardinal Ritter with $5,000 scholarships apiece. We had the opportunity to go to the school, see the great amenities at the school. The administration at the school was superb, very gracious in hosting us. They set everything up for us. Had a chance to speak to the football team. You know, they got a football team over there that has won 28 straight games in a row, 2 state championships, and I was just amazed by that. So beautiful young men, had a chance to speak into their lives and impart to them, and we presented those scholarships to the students. Very grateful. They were right on time for the students, and just a perfect moment for the Isaac Bruce Foundation and Ameren as a whole.
Isaac, that is so awesome that you were able to do that. You continue to give back to the St. Louis community. I know everybody appreciates it here. Now, of course, recently you were a part of the NFL draft and you helped out the Rams with that one. A record 14 straight offensive players kicked off this year's NFL draft. Oh, my goodness. What a crazy class that was. Which rookie are you intrigued to see this upcoming season?
You know what? There are a couple of guys. I'd have to say, I'm going to say a receiver, and I'll start with a receiver. But Rome, the kid from Washington who went to the Bears with the 9th overall pick, I really like what he was able to do in college, playing and hooking up with Michael Penix Jr. Just the music that they made together, his ability to get open, to separate, it shows that he's ready for that next level. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against pro competition. And Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. I mean, I like this guy. I think he's just as athletic as Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, but at the same time, he's very accurate in pressure passes and pressure situations. We always see him throwing to the right person. So I think mentally, from that standpoint, I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler a lot sooner than a lot of people would admit.
Isaac, you and the group here, obviously Torrey, but Ricky and Oz had such an incredible ability to get open. Is that something that you learned, or is that an innate thing that a receiver has?
Well, I think all of it was God-given, but being able to add the hard work, the determination, the routine, and the discipline to what we did, and being able to challenge each other in our meeting rooms, I think we were able to put it on a grandstand like no other group has done. And when you just think about it, we competed with each other. There were times where, myself would have been the best receiver on the field, or Torrey would have been the best receiver on the field. And there were many times when Oz was the best receiver on the field and Ricky was the best guy on the field. And then you throw in Tony Horn. Tony Horn with his return ability. It's just a perfect mesh of a group of guys that really got it done on Sundays. And I don't think I've ever been with a group of guys that were able to be starters somewhere else. It's just so fortunate that we were all playing for the Rams at that one time, sharing one offense and sharing that meeting room together.
We've got all of these young receivers coming into the league. You mentioned Rome Odunze with the Bears, and you've got neighbors going to the Giants, Xavier Worthy, who can fly, going to the Chiefs. Isaac, when you meet with young receivers, what's the main thing that you want to impart to them?
It's wisdom. It's the wisdom of the game, because you mentioned the kid from Kansas City. He can fly, and I look at him as a football player first that just so happens to be fast. When you have that, I think he's on the right path to be successful. But there are nuances in the game, the wisdom part of it, when to make your adjustment, how to get out of your breaks, how to study film, how to create an identity for yourself. I think those are the most important things that once the wedding of the draft is over, you can go right into the marriage part of your career and start to build on it. So just having knowledge of the game. To every wide receiver, I would say do your best to get quarterback eyes. The kid in Kansas City, he's definitely going to have to get quarterback eyes. He's going to have to see what Mahomes sees. And all the coaching that he hears Andy Reid gives Mahomes, he should take it in and soak it in as well.
The NFL really knows how to kick off a season. It was announced that the Chiefs are going to host the Ravens. What are you expecting to see from that matchup? I'm sure it's going to be a huge battle, and everybody's going to be watching.
Well, football is that one sport. When you hang a banner, when you get your championship ring, there's still not a letdown, because you have to go out there and perform. It's a collision sport. unlike other sports where you may have a huge letdown, and we've seen some NBA champions get blown out that night. But I think just from the two teams that are playing, they have history, and anytime you play in playoff against another team, it's going to create a sense of a rivalry right there. So both teams will be extra motivated to go out and prove that, last year wasn't a fluke or last year was a fluke. And they'll be fighting to see who has home field in the playoffs, starting with week 1.
Hey, Isaac, a couple more things, and I want to get back again to the 25-year anniversary. But as I look at the list of names that you have coming in, and I look at your roster from that Super Bowl year, and I don't know if this is a tribute to Coach Vermeil or why it happened, but so many people from that team are so accomplished, whether they're in broadcasting or have a business or they're in coaching. It really is remarkable that collection of people not only did what they did on the field, but have done what they have done off the field. Why do you think that is?
I think it's, we can aim it at the leadership. I think Coach Vermeil was a great leader. He spent years in broadcasting. And mind you, he's still coaching us. We still get calls, check-in calls to see how we're doing, what we're doing. And he's still behind us and pushing us and motivating us. So from that standpoint, I feel like I'm not surprised that it happened. There are a lot of guys that have taken those routes and they're successful in business. I mean, Torrey Holt, he does great in business. But I just think the leadership that Coach Vermeil had, transitioning Coach Mike Martz, it was just very evident in what they were trying to push us to do, and they were successful at it.
And I was crushed that Torrey Holt didn't get the knock. It's got to be coming, right? He's got to join you just like he did on the field in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think it's definitely on its way. Not only is he still excited about it, but I had an opportunity this weekend. I saw some fans at the airport, and that was, the guts of the conversation that they had with me. Can't wait to see Torrey up there with you, and I'm with him. So I think this year has a better shot more than ever, and I pray it happens this year.
Me too. Friday, September 20th, the Isaac Bruce Foundation Gala at Live by Lowe's, right next to the ballpark, and you'll be able to mingle with the team, and the guest of honor is going to be Marshall Falk. He'll tell some stories, but a lot of the players will be there. You can get tickets by going to isaacbrucefoundation.org. And and I got chills too, by the way, when we heard the call. So when you get up there, and you don't have to tell us in detail right now, but what's the one thing, when you think about that season, what's the one thing that sticks in your mind?
The biggest thing that sticks in my mind, it has nothing to do on the football field. Just flying back from places like Seattle, flying back from places like San Francisco after a huge win, and just the food that we're eating, the camaraderie between the players, the jesting and the poking and the fun, just being around those dudes and flying home with a W. That's one of the easiest flights that you ever have to take in your life when you're coming from Seattle with a W and going back to St. Louis.
Love it. Isaac, we love having you on. Thanks so much. We're looking forward to the gala, and we'll talk during the summer. Oh, by the way, you've got your clinic coming up also at Rams Park, right? I forgot to mention that, but that's coming up too.
Yes, the football clinic is coming up. It's been a huge success since about 2006. We have 50 spots left currently right now. So for all the information you need, isaacbruce.org. Tiffany Burris, she does a great job putting everything together. And big shout out to Tiff.
Absolutely. She does fantastic work. And all the information at isaacbruce.org. Thank you, Isaac. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Randy.
See you. Take care. That is the great Isaac Bruce with us on 101 ESPN. That's ISAAC. Bruce.
Good. That's good. Good
Some
clarification.
people do ISSAC. It's ISAAC. I just want to make sure that I have the right date for you. But again, the Cardinals, thanks to the Cardinals for celebrating the 25-year anniversary of the greatest show on turf, because it's something that we'll never experience again.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that loved that team and went to all the games and had so much fun, we aren't going to get that many opportunities to relive and get that group back together again. So make sure that you get to isaacbruce.org and get tickets for the September 20th gala and the event. The free football clinic is June 15th. Like Isaac mentioned, 50 spots left, and you can go to isaacbruce.org and just go to the events tab, and you can get information on that too. It's a great kids clinic that provides great information for children that are interested in football every year. Coming up, we will react to a little bit of what Isaac said, and I want to give a shout out. As bad as things are on the field for the Cardinals, I'm going to provide them an off-field shout out next on 101 ESPN. Hey, guys, if you're fatigued this morning, fatigue and a lack of energy is definitely a sign of low testosterone, and that's something that you can get fixed at Mentality. Mentality has clinics in Chesterfield and in South County, and you can learn more about what they do, a great local clinic, at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. And what they're going to do when you go in for your evaluation is they're going to have board-certified physicians that take a complete panel of your blood work and find out where your testosterone level is and where all of your blood levels are, and then they have an FDA-approved treatment that will restore your testosterone level to what it was when you were in your 20s, because as you pass your 30th birthday, your testosterone level drops, and when that happens, you do get a little bit more irritable. You are more fatigued, you have decreased mental acuity, and you aren't as sharp. Well, that's a problem that can be solved at Mentality. Go to lowtusa.com to get started. Make your appointment today and join thousands of guys in the St. Louis metro area in getting your life back and being the guy that you want to be, being able to get through 18 holes of walking a golf course or getting through a bike ride or a workout. You can do it. Get started now at lowtusa.com.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are 16-40 through their first 40 games, following losing 3 of 4 in Milwaukee. They'll try to bounce back with a series against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Is that still their name? Is that still their technical name? It's okay. I always forget the heck what it is. Is Anaheim Angels, LA Angels? Jesus. Anyway, they're facing off against the Angels 8:30 8 first pitch. It'll be Matthew Livermore, the lefty, facing off against Jose Serrano for the Angels. Serrano on the season 1-4 with a 4.32 ERA. He also has a 1.35 whip through 33 innings pitched this season. In the NHL playoffs over the weekend, the Florida Panthers came back over the Boston Bruins, and they still lead that series 3-1. The Vancouver Canucks, another tight win over the Oilers 4-3. They lead that series 2-1. In the NBA playoffs, the Pacers and the Nuggets both shockingly coming back in their series, evening both of those series up at 2 apiece. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Brooke, Randy, and Matthew, it's the opening drive on 101 ESPN. And, Brooke, I say this with the knowledge and a phrase that Coach Vermeil always used to use when he would talk about the other parts of the organization, the Rams organization, that he was the president of football operations of. And they would do things off the field. They were great in the community. They would, and he forced the people to be, the organization to be a fine, upstanding organization. But he always said the main thing is the main thing, that we are a football team and the football has to come first. That being said, I say this with all the knowledge that the main thing is the main thing. And the Cardinals on the field right now are miserable. It's just terrible. It's not fun to watch. They're bad. They're I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They've been in last place for a year and a quarter. So I say that with that being the knowledge that the main thing is the main thing. But the Cardinals every spring have a Cardinals Care Award where they provide numerous, like near 100 local charities with money from Cardinals Care, working with the Cardinals. And we're going to talk about this later on a commercial that I'm going to do. But the YMCA of Greater St. Louis is going to put together and open an adaptive sports complex for kids and adults with disabilities. And it's going to be named the Paul Goldschmidt Field, so that the Cardinals are involved with that. The Cardinals get involved with the Isaac Bruce Foundation, a fantastic charitable foundation to help him raise money for his charity, which provides scholarships to people that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity, and the Flight 300 program, which provides plane tickets to kids to get to the school that they're going to. We don't think about that a lot. There's kids that are going to school, somebody who's going to Yale from St. Louis, but doesn't have the money to get there. And what Flight 300 does is provides them the opportunity to do so. And the Cardinals are partnering with Isaac and the foundation to help them out. I just think that, again, we look at what's on the field. That's what we talk about on a sports show. But when we look at the other things that the Cardinals do in our community, being the company that built the first Class A office space in St. Louis in 30 years when they opened their office at Ballpark Village. They do a lot of really good things for the community. We're lucky to have the Cardinals and this ownership in town.
We really are. And that's the thing, is that it's two separate things when you're talking about it, right? Yeah, you can be very frustrated with what is currently going on with the organization, but really you can still turn things around. I know we were discussing this earlier about fans and fan support. Fans will 100% always support the Cardinals no matter what. They will do so even more when you are able to get the product back in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And that could be just moving things along, a rebuild of some sorts, bringing in different talent, different players. You brought up the Phillies as a comp of not too long ago. Now, they did have some very talented pitchers, as we know, and a Bryce Harper who helps out a team as well. But it kind of shows how quickly things can turn back into the right direction. So I think that with the Cardinals, they do a lot of stuff off the field. It's just really tough right now on the field.
Well, and that's what it comes down to. That's why I say the main thing is the main thing, because everything else falls in place behind what happens on the field. But, and I hate to do it this way, but everything the Cardinals do off the field is pretty darn good. The problem is what their main product is right now.
Exactly. From the Through and Four, Randy, every professional sports team is involved in the community, helping underprivileged or sick. Take the blinders off.
Not to say that is not true, but the Cardinals are the team in our town that is doing that to an extraordinary level and have for a long time. You're exactly right. The Rams, when they were here, won Philanthropic Organization of the Year. You're right, they do. But I'm just giving, because right now the Cardinals are taking a lot of heat for their on-field product. And I just want to point out that the Cardinals do a fantastic job, and they don't have to. They don't have to do all the philanthropic work they do in our community, but they're doing it. And I'm just pointing that out. And by the way, not every single organization does. If you would have looked at what Stan Kroenke, for example, did for St. Louis, Stan Kroenke in and of himself, compared to what the DeWitt family has done for St. Louis, you're talking apples and Cadillacs. You couldn't be further away. And that's what I talked about when I did that talk at the town hall meeting, is every single other NFL owner, you could find them doing something philanthropically in their community. 31 you can find doing something philanthropically in their community except for him. So not every organization, not every owner is that way.
And also, with the Cardinals organization, another big difference between that and Stan Kroenke is that they would never move the organization out of town.
Right.
There's absolutely no situation I can even fathom that would happen.
No, there isn't. And they built their own ballpark, right? They've built Ballpark Village. That's part of their business plan. They've tried to do things to enhance downtown St. Louis. They were heavily involved with the renovation of the Arts grounds. There's a lot of great things. The tickets that they provide for people, underprivileged kids and organizations, they do a lot of great things. I was there a couple of weeks ago for a day game, and the entire upper deck was kids for a day out of school. So I'm just saying that when you look at the Cardinals, it's not all bad. In fact, it's mostly good, except for what's happening on the field.
Yeah,
right
the
now.
On the field stuff, that's a whole different story. But you can turn things around.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot at this point. Well, actually, how many pieces away do you think it would take?
You never know. I mean, look at Arizona.
But it would also take an organizational philosophy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think that they do need to change things organizationally. But let's just take one quick look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they were in the World Series last year, represented the National League, and here's how quickly it can happen. They went from 52 and 110 in 2021 to 74 and 88 in 2022 to 84 and 78 in the World Series. So 2 years after losing 110 games, they were in the World Series. So it can happen quickly if you know what you're doing. That's the key. You have to know what you're doing.
You do.
So that's Brooke. I'm Randy. Coming up, we got, speaking of the Cardinals, we've got tickets to give away. Did you see that Metro Boomin is appearing 1 week from tonight? Not only is it going to be Metro Boomin night, but he's going to appear before the game.
And he's a part of a big rap beef right now.
Is he part of it?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know about this?
I know that
Metro
Drake
Boomin?
Yeah. I didn't know Metro was part of it.
Oh, no, Metro Boomin is a part of it because Drake basically told him to go shut up and play some drums because Metro Boomin is, of course, a great producer.
Mm-hmm.
So then Metro Boomin, he countered here recently and came out with a song that's called BBL Drizzy, where there's a lot of drums involved.
It is amazing.
I actually,
because Metro
all
Boomin's an
weekend,
artist.
while I was cleaning and doing things like that, I was singing BBL Drizzy.
Yeah, and Kendrick's kind of backed off out of the beef.
Okay.
And Metro Boomin has kind of stepped up as, I'm going to keep coming after Drake, which I think is hilarious.
You want to go to war,
Canadians.
Drake? I'm ready. Metro Boomin's a Parkway North Viking.
Drake, I like that. You want to go to war, Drake?
Yeah.
Basically, we're all against Drake currently right now.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
So we'll enhance.
But Drake has Sexy Red on his side, so there's some conflict here.
This is, and she's got money because is she still dating Woody Johnson?
It's not a lot of conflict on that one. We know which one's the top STL artist. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, who's got the Grammys?
Metro.
Coming up, we're going to give away Cardinal tickets, and we're going to head down the stretch with Rock and Roll here on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you want a perfect outdoor project done at your home this summer, you need to get in touch with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Their number is 800-300-4054, and you can find out what they do on the web at chesterfieldfence.com. And one of the cool things about Chesterfield Fence and Deck right now, mention me, mention 101 ESPN, and get 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. And the work they do is sensational. They do great wood or cedar fences. They do great wood or cedar decks. They've got that Vecca vinyl decking, which is fantastic. And they've got a new color in pewter, a really beautiful gray that is a beautiful variation throughout for a more natural look for your vinyl deck. And they do fantastic work also on sunrooms or screen rooms or pergolas or retaining walls, and they're going to do it well with their own employees. Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been in business for 56 years here in St. Louis, and they're going to do great work for you. Find them on the web at chesterfieldfence.com. Call 800-300-4054. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Hey everyone, this is Brooke for the Face and Body Spa and Salon. Guys, it's time that you focus on your own self-care. As we get ready for summer, I want you to check out the Face and Body for Men. Everybody can, what did you say? Rock?
I'm in, Brooke. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Rock, I know you like pedicures, so you can go over to the Face and Body Spa for that. And also, you can go over there for laser hair removal. They also have weight loss, body sculpting, skincare, as well as PRP treatments for hair growth. This past Friday, David and I, my fiance, by the way, we went over to the Brentwood location to try out laser hair removal for his back to get ready for the summer, and it was super quick and easy. Randy, it really did happen. If you want to come, you can come along, too. And according to him, it was super quick and painless. I was actually there for the experience, and we timed it. It was 15 minutes getting in and out, and they said it will take a couple sessions, and he'll be ready just in time for the summertime. With 6 area locations, I'm confident that you'll be wowed by the experience at the Face and Body Spa and Salon, too. Call them at 314-725-8975 or learn more at faceandbodyspa.com. That is faceandbodyspa.com.
And roll.
Let's rock. Let's rock today.
The kids 101 ESPN is your chance to win a pair of tickets for the first Beer Friday Cardinals game of the season against the Red Sox Friday night at Busch. First Beer Friday tickets start at just $15 and will include your first cold beer on the house. Get all the ticket info for this Friday night's First Beer Friday game now at cardinals.com/Friday, or you can text in now to 314-399-9646, 314-399-YO-HO to score a pair of tickets to the Cardinals game this Friday against the Boston Red Sox. Okay, it was 20 years ago that Boston beat the Cardinals in the 2004 World Series. Who was the winning pitcher in Game 4 of that sweep? The Game 4 against the Cardinals, the Red Sox. Who was the winning pitcher in the last game of that World Series?
Ooh,
that is the question. And texter number 37 will be the winner of the First Beer Friday tickets against the Red Sox on Friday night.
Rocky was so tickled with himself.
I'm so proud of myself for remembering that.
It's the right one.
It was a horrible day. I was 13, and it broke my absolute heart that they got swept by Boston, who had already being 9 for the Patriots, had already had a very, very stark hatred for the entire city of Boston by that point.
Still do?
Yeah. It's there.
It never goes away, huh?
No, it doesn't. So sometimes I root for people. I rooted for Chris Long.
It's faded a little bit. 19 helped.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's like an area fan base that you hate more? Philly?
Than Boston?
Phillies or
Boston.
Philly or
Boston's
Boston?
not even close. I mean, I've watched them take 3 championships.
I think that's the thing. I think Boston is the big one.
It's literally 2 World Series and a Super Bowl. It's 3 championships. I mean,
well,
and
they cheated to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wait, have I seen another city take down a St. Louis team in a championship game? No, it's literally just Boston.
Well, in your lifetime?
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. Boston
I literally only watch Boston take down St. Louis teams in championship games.
Yeah, that's bad. I've seen Minnie do it.
Sons of.
I've seen KC do it.
Yeah,
I've seen Minnie do it.
I still hate them though.
Minnie. Yeah, the '87 World Series was bad.
No one talks about the fans.
Not the fans, but the fans behind home plate in the Metrodome, Brooke. They had these fans that they would turn on when the Twins were batting and turn off when the Cardinals were batting. So the wind was literally blowing out when the Twins were at the plate during the 3 years.
Twins went on back-to-back World Series runs those 2 years. They didn't win an away game.
That's so suspicious. Why did nobody say anything a little bit early?
I think it's the least talked about, most BS World Series ever.
Yeah, it was bad.
People talk about the Astros ones. People talk about the Black Sox. No one talks about how the Twins just blatantly cheated.
Whitey always said that we could have played till Christmas and we wouldn't have won a game there. And the Cardinals won all their games at home.
It's insane.
Yeah.
God, that's absolutely insane. Speaking of St. Louis team getting to win at home, St. Louis City SC came away with a 3-1 victory on Saturday night thanks to a brace from João Klaus. Santa came twice.
By the way, the over-under for that game was 3.5, was it not?
Well,
Vegas,
yes, it was.
Vegas is good.
It was, and it got to 4 total. And so here was Bradley Carnell talking about João Klaus after the game. We obviously talked to Bradley on Friday about Klaus's overall importance, not just scoring goals, but it felt good when he gets the goals. Here was Carnell after the game.
The cherry on top is the 2 goals. Klaus plays the way Klaus plays, right? So just because he doesn't score goals doesn't mean he's not playing well. Right, so I think there's a clear distinction. Unfortunately, we see the 2 goals on the post-game results, and you see his name twice. So, then all of a sudden he played well. I slightly think differently. We see Klaus day in and day out, and the way he trains, and the way he puts in effort, and the way he applies the game plan against the ball. So, really good from him. And the cherry on top is getting rewarded for all that hard work. So, I'm glad it's starting to fall his way a little bit. He's due a couple of goals, and I'm glad he's starting to take those.
That was a huge day for him, obviously, getting 2 by that. I mean, that first one he gets from Pompeu's assist, I mean, that's one of those ones where you get that one because the law of average, things break even. That was a one where he just kind of stabbed at it with his toe. And there's a lot of cases where that one's going to go kind of haywire and probably fly over the net and go wide. But that one falls instead of some of the other chances he's had falling. That's why you look at the overall amount of chances, you say these goals are eventually going to come for him. That was a good one. Obviously, the header was just him, being a classic number 9 and going up and winning the ball. That was a huge game for Klaus.
And we're kind of spoiled early on, aren't we, by City SC? They've 1 loss this year. They've got 3 wins, 7 draws, And by the way, another franchise that does an amazing job in the community.
They really do.
I mean, they walked through the door with their very first press conference over at Matthews Dickey. They started things by doing unbelievable work for the community, and they still do. But we're so spoiled because they just haven't shown us any negatives yet.
No.
And so when they tie, we say, well, why are they winning? And that was a good win on Saturday night.
And also just talking about organizational, STL City 2 is on I think they're on a 5-game winning streak. They got another win on Sunday night. The youth prospects are looking really good. They're winning a lot of games too. So there's an organizational structure that is successful. And right now, seeing an organization that has a plan and executed over a long period of time, that's comforting right now in St. Louis.
It is. And the thing is that with City SC, you already had such a rich history of soccer here, and then you're continuing to grow and add to it. They really are heavily involved in the community.
Is Klaus back to where he was? Does this game and the last couple of games get him back to where he was last year at the beginning of the season? Matthew?
Just like stats-wise?
No, just, the way he's playing his style.
I think he's definitely back to the point where he's dangerous. And that's what I think that's what Carnell's been trying to focus on. He said it in our interview on Friday, and he said it again on Saturday, which is just, it's not about just is he putting goals in the net. Their defense starts with their most offensive players, because those guys have to track back and they have to press with the ball and they have to counter press the ball when they lose the ball. And Klaus is one of the best at that. And
it's a 200-foot game.
Exactly, 100%. I don't know if it's exactly 200 feet, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Okay. I'm not sure what the exact dimensions are. It changes sometimes. And so him leading your press and him getting involved in all those different ways, that's what makes this team good. That's what makes him dangerous, is that you don't know as a defender when you're going to try to pass the ball upfield, he's going to jump in front of it and have a free shot.
And a big one Wednesday night, 7:30 at City Park against LAFC. Those are when you're, and not to say that they aren't legit, but those are the sort of matches that when you win them around MLS, that legitimizes St. Louis City SC.
And we'll hear from Leuven today at a certain point.
Hopefully we see him. Yeah, I don't know if they have full team availability today. So Carnell will talk to the media today. We'll see if Leuven talks.
Does he get the Isaac treatment, by the way? Do people go, Leuven?
I think that he was kind of getting that a little bit when he was starting. Like, by the way, a lot of different people have come up and produced for the offense lately, but it's insane how the very first 3 games of the regular season, when Leuven actually played, it was like he was providing 80% of the offense, and everyone else was just kind of doing what they had to. The guy's he's the fulcrum, and so credit to the coaching staff and the players for coming up and finding a way to replace his production. And this is one of those things where, sometimes you get a little bit better because of an injury, because now Leuven comes in and now everyone around him is even better than they were before.
Right. Great job today by our producer, audio, video engineer, the one, the only Matthew Rocchio. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. Do you want to say the answer for the trivia question?
The answer was Derek Lowe, who I believe wore number 37, right?
Did.
And our 37th texter gets the tickets for the First Beer Friday Cardinal ticket giveaway for Friday night against the Bo Sox.
And somebody already won.
I like this. I like it a lot.
Somebody also said that we have to give credit because St. Louis has also won a lot of championships over Boston. The problem there is I wasn't alive in the 1960s.
Yeah.
So it didn't exist.
Fair enough.
I'm aware of it, but it doesn't affect me personally.
Right. And, there were a few Celtics-Hawks matchups.
That one, too, you're right. Yeah, we had the Hawks over the Celtics. That also, that's like, we're like -4. We win 1, but we lost like 3 or 4 other ones to them.
Yeah. Brooke, did you have fun today?
Yes.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
Why did you ask that?
Because you walked out the door and you said, "I'm so tired of this blank."
No.
Speaking of something else in your life, not this show, nothing to do with this show, just this blank. So, but
you can finish. You can finish. You can say wedding. Yeah, so it's completely fine.
I'm so tired of this wedding blank, and it has nothing to do. It's just things out of your control.
Why did you have to out me like that?
It's fun.
Wow, David really screwed up, huh?
No, it's not nothing to do with David.
No, it has nothing to do with. It's all the other things that come along with the wedding process planning. I am very lucky to be able to have a wedding. I want to go ahead and state that for all the family members who are listening.
You're telling me $1 billion party industry is neither efficient nor effective?
It's so much going on. I want to be done with it.
That's why, because you didn't.
I know. Maybe you should give the way you set that up though. Made it sound like I absolutely hated the show, and that like
99% of
get
Brooke's
along
morning,
on air, but then like.
So I walk out for the fight, and Brooke's outside talking on the phone. She said, "I'm so tired of this wedding blank."
I didn't curse. Mom and Dad, I promise.
No, she didn't. Maybe. So we've got a balloon party with T-Mac and Ajax coming up. That ought to be fun. And then BK and Ferrario with you from 11 to 2. And then the Fast Lane from 2 to 6. And then tonight at 8, Avalanche and Stars pregame at 8 o'clock. We thank you for tuning in, texting in, and being a part of the show for all of us until tomorrow morning at 7. Have a great Monday, St. Louis.
That's right.
So excited about what's happening here in St. Louis because there is very little opportunity for youth with disabilities in our region to play baseball and other sports because of a lack of adaptive sports facilities. Well, that is about to change, and that's why I'm excited. The Gateway Region YMCA is partnering with Cardinals Care and the Boniface Foundation on construction of a state-of-the-art adaptive sports complex that's going to include a Miracle League baseball field, inclusive playground, and a multi-purpose field so kids and adults with disabilities can play sports.